A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
And now, Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and what it means to be the wife of a famous star. Although wealthy Rupert Barlow, financial backer of Larry Noble's present Broadway play, feels that the time is opportune for his romantic campaign to captivate Mary's interest, he also feels decidedly hampered by the sudden turn of events in his own household. For quite suddenly, his faithful and long-suffering secretary, Julia Dixon, has turned her attention to another man, a handsome young chap who returned to Long Island with her from Bermuda. Right now, in his bedroom, as Rupert changes for dinner, he complains to his man, Victor.
It's the most exasperating situation I've ever encountered. Here I've worked like a beaver to create the proper setting and attitude for a most delightful romance. Now, hang it all, I can't devote my time to the matter. Because of Julia's ridiculous infatuation for this miserable Oliver Wilson.
You leave that Wilson to me, boss. I'll take care of him for you.
Now, I told you before, Victor, this can't be handled in your usual crude way. We can't afford any show of violence.
Who said anything about violence? I said I'd run the guy off the place. It's what you want, isn't it?
Well, of course it is. But I don't believe it's possible. He's the most insolent young upstart I've ever encountered. He seems to enjoy his present role of being a confounded pest. Why, I believe he's actually laughing at me behind that respectful manner of his.
Yeah, that's because he thinks he's got the upper hand, with Miss Julia acting like a school kid over the guy, and you ready to blow your top. He thinks he's cute as the devil. But I've got an idea how to take some of the conceit out of the guy.
Just what do you mean, Victor? I've told you over and over that you can't handle this fellow the way you might ordinarily handle some other nuisance. Miss Julia would suspect at once if something were to happen to this Wilson. Then I would be in for it. I can't afford to do anything that could cause her to take some unwise action. Why, suppose she actually did run off with this fellow. Suppose they did run away to Bermuda to live in a cottage by the seaside.
If you asked me, Mr. Barlow, I'd bet my last buck the guy would run like a rabbit if he thought Miss Julia'd take him up on that idea.
Then you don't know what you're talking about. Why, Oliver Wilson told me in so many words that he wanted to marry Miss Julia. He actually came to me and asked for her hand, as if I were her father.
Sure, he's trying to get your goat, Mr. Barlow. He's having a swell time, and he thinks he's safe to get a free ride from now on. Only I got my own ideas. I've been thinking it over, boss. I don't like the guy any more than you do. He's pretty smart acting around me, asking me where I learned to be a servant, like I was an ordinary houseboy or something.
You'll do well to keep out of the man's way, Victor.
Yeah, you tell me how. Keeps ringing for me and sending me on errands, getting him drinks, I don't know what all. And boy, does he get a kick out of it when he sees me burn. Well, you just wait. No blonde gigolo is going to get the best of me.
You just watch your step, Victor. I don't want you to do anything that will drive Miss Julia away. Why, I'd be utterly lost without her.
Well, okay, then. If that's all you're worried about, why don't you marry her right now and then send Miss Wilson away?
Don't be a fool, Victor. You know perfectly well that I have other plans for the present. It's enough to drive a man mad. Just when everything is perfect for me. When Mrs. Noble is so outraged by her husband's attention to Claudia Vincent that it would only take a small bit of persuasion to turn her interest to me. And I have to be tied hand and foot by this ridiculous situation here at home.
You just leave it to me. I'll have the guy so groggy in a few days he'll be glad of the chance to get back to Bermuda. You wait and see.
Well, just be careful, that's all. Don't let on that you're doing anything at all.
You leave it to me. I already got things started. If you don't need me anymore, I'll go fix up a couple of more ideas I just thought of.
Just be careful, Victor, that's all.
You know me, boys. I never yet got into a jam I couldn't get out of.
And in nearby Rosehaven, Long Island, Mary is out on the terrace back of their house. And now as her husband, Larry, approaches from the living room, we hear...
Isn't dinner almost ready, Mary? I want to get into New York to the theater a little early tonight.
We're ready whenever you are, Larry. I was waiting for Claudia to come downstairs.
Oh, is she still up in her room?
As far as I know. I haven't seen her since she stormed up to pack.
Honey, I wish you could just let this business end on a friendly note.
I don't know quite what you mean, Larry.
About Claudia. I don't see why you insist on being so openly antagonistic. It makes it terribly awkward for me.
Oh?
She's going to be in the play. I'll see her every night.
Is that such a hardship? You went to a lot of trouble to get her the part.
I took the trouble because Claudia needs a break. And because she's very talented. And I also wanted to help Sheila get out of her contract so she could marry that young man of hers and go to Europe to live.
Well, then I don't see why you're so displeased at the outcome. Seems to me everything's working out just perfectly for you.
Oh, now, don't be like that, Mary. You know Claudia's only going to be here a few days more at the most. Why not try to keep things running pleasantly for that time? Try to get her to stay on. If she packs up and leaves now, it's going to make things very uncomfortable for everyone.
And what do you want me to do?
Well, couldn't you just go up and talk to her, Mary? Make her see that you want her to stay until after she's settled in the play.
But I don't want her to stay. I never did want her here, and I don't want her now.
All right, then. I take it you won't make any slight gesture, even though you know how I feel about all this.
On the contrary, Larry, I'll go right up now and ask Claudia to do us the favor of staying on as long as she likes.
But
I didn't say I wouldn't do this for you, Larry. I only said that I don't want her here. But that doesn't matter.
And back at Rupert Barlow's luxurious Oyster Bay home, we find young Oliver Wilson in a state of irritation as he approaches Julia Dixon in the library downstairs.
I say, Julia, the most annoying thing has happened.
Well, what do you mean, Oliver?
I've been waiting for some time for you and Rupert. I thought we'd have drinks out in the garden.
Well, I'd have been ready ages ago, but I can't for the life of me find my shaving brush.
Well, did you have it recently?
Of course I've had it. Now it's gone. The brush I've had for years.
Perhaps you've mislaid it. I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere.
But dash it all, Julia. It can't have just disappeared. I remember distinctly setting it down on the shelf in the bathroom. I never would have put it down anywhere else. Now it's gone.
But it can't have run off by itself, Oliver. And certainly no one would take it. You must have put it somewhere else and then forgotten about it.
I did no such thing. I tell you, it's disappeared. I know just where I put it. I remember perfectly.
Well, I don't really know what you expect me to do about it, Oliver. Perhaps Rupert has a brush you can borrow.
I don't want to borrow a shaving brush. I want my own returned to me. I have a deep sentimental feeling about that brush. And hang it all, besides, it's a very good one.
I'm sorry, Oliver. Really, I am, but, well, I can't help laughing a bit. Your distress seems so out of proportion. I'm sorry about the brush. If you like, we'll conduct a thorough search of the house and the grounds.
Oh, and please don't bother. I didn't realize my loss would be the source of such hilarity, or I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Now, Oliver, I said I was sorry. I'm sure we'll find it. It certainly can't be far away.
Will you have the tray in here, Miss Julia? Mr. Barlow didn't say where I was to bring it.
Oh, Victor. Oh, I don't quite know what to say. I did intend having our drinks out in the garden, but perhaps it would be better in here.
Whatever you say, Miss Julia. Shall I set the tray down here?
Yes, thank you, Victor.
Shall I call Mr. Barlow and tell him you're waiting for him?
I wish you would. I don't know what's keeping him so long.
Perhaps he's lost his shaving kit, too.
Oh, Victor, just a minute.
Yes, Miss Julia?
Have you by any chance seen Mr. Wilson's shaving brush?
Shaving brush, Miss? Yes, confounded shaving brush. Mine's missing. I left it on the shelf in my bathroom, and now I can't find it. I'm very sorry, sir, but I haven't the least idea where it might be.
I was sure you wouldn't. It's very strange. Perhaps you could find an extra one for Mr. Wilson.
I see, Miss Julia. Mr. Barlow never uses a brush, and neither do I. I'll ask Hilda, since she cleans Mr. Wilson's room, although I doubt very much if she'd have any reason to take Mr. Wilson's toilet articles. I'll ask her just the same. Oh, blast that fellow's impudence. Did you see the way he looked at me when he said that?
Now, Oliver, you're really making a mountain out of a molehill.
Nothing of the sort. That Victor's up to something. I can tell it from just looking at him. I don't see why you're a person about like that in the place.
He's Rupert's servant, Oliver. I have nothing to do with it.
Then I should think he'd have more sense than to have an obvious blackguard like that about.
Oh, Miss Julia. How lovely you look. Hello, Wilson.
Hello.
You waiting for me? Well, how nice. I guess it's time for all of us to have a drink. What will it be, Oliver?
Oliver Wilson stares moodily at Rupert Barlow as he watches his host pick up the cocktail shaker. And we wonder if this is perhaps the beginning of Victor's little plan to discourage Oliver Wilson's visit. Be sure to be listening tomorrow to Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and her husband Larry Noble, famous Broadway star.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Outer Limit, by Graham Dorr. We go ahead now in time to 1965. We're on a vast concrete runway set in the desert of the Southwest. A giant metal ship stands before us, prow pointed for the stars. And in 5 minutes, the signal will flash and it will tear up through the atmosphere to the outer limit.
Attention! Attention! Clear field for takeoff! Clear field!
5 minutes, Steve.
Right. Warm her up, Charlie.
Turn her over!
I want to go over procedure again, Steve.
Don't worry, I got it straight.
We'll just make sure.
Okay, I take her up on jets to 50,000, then I cut in the rockets.
No lower, or your tail blast will burn out 3 counties.
I climb 4 minutes on rockets, then start maneuver tests.
Remember that, no more than 4 minutes. This ship isn't like those strato rockets that you've been testing. She's the first one built for outer space. If she works, you can go clear to the moon.
If I'd have known, I'd have brought my toothbrush.
Not this trip. Now get this, Steve. You've got power there to clear the Earth's gravitational field, but remember, after you cut in the rockets, you've only got 10 minutes fuel. If you go beyond the outer limit and don't save fuel for the return, you won't get down again, ever. You'll drift out into space. Get that now. 10 minutes fuel.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, this project is a lot more important than that cosmic ray bomb that they're testing out in the Pacific tonight.
Well, the Security Commission brass doesn't think so. I don't see any undersecretaries under anything.
Don't you worry, Steve. In the long run, our ship will make the CR bomb back-page stuff. But in the meantime, it's just as dangerous. Now, remember, half the principles in this ship are pure theory, slide rule stuff. If anything goes wrong, we may have to scrape you off the landscape with a soup spoon.
You have a charming sense of humor.
Here's what I'm getting at, Steve. We're risking your neck in this test. Anything blows, we don't want to have the next man pull the same boner. So keep your mic open. Keep talking. If anything goes wrong, we want to know exactly why. And we won't be able to ask you. Let us know before you pull every switch. Before you do anything. Got that? Even if you only have to blow your nose.
All right, get those fuel lines away.
Well, I guess that's about all, Steve.
Hey, that reminds me. If Mary calls, I'm just up on a milk run. I didn't tell her today was it.
How is Mary?
She's okay, but she's due about now, and I don't want her to get nervous.
Hey, I didn't know the baby was that close. Steve, you know, I really ought to be sending a single man on this job.
What, and cutting me out of a soft paycheck? Forget it, Hank. You know you can't get anybody else who can take 15 G's acceleration when those rockets cut in.
Yeah, I know. It's time, Steve.
Yeah. I'll see you later. Don't worry, Hank. I'll sweat for both of us. Button her up, Charlie. So long, Hank.
So long. We'll give you the light from control.
X2 JTR to control. Are you there yet, Hank?
Okay, Steve. I'm ready to go.
Mr. Hanson.
Ready on radar, Sergeant?
Check.
Mr. Hanson, you better see this.
What is it, Elsie?
Message sent up for Steve. Mrs. Weston just left for the hospital.
What? Hello, Steve.
Yeah.
Stand by a minute.
Shall I hold it up, Mr. Hanson?
Yes. No, wait just a minute. It's too late now.
You going to tell her?
Well, maybe he's got enough to worry about.
Hey, what's holding us up, Hank? Something on your mind?
No, there's nothing, Steve. I just wanted to say good luck. All right, Charlie. Give him the light.
Steve. I'm reading you clear.
I'm at 20,000. Airspeed 600. It's running fine. Soundproofing works. There's a 3-degree waiver in the AGY pressure.
Got that, Charlie?
Check. Dead center on radar, Mr. Hanson.
50,000 now. I'm cutting loose the port jet. Now the starboard. Now I'm off jets. Airspeed dropping. Now I'm opening the rocket ports. The switch sticks a little, Charlie. Oxy-alcohol pressure 350. All right, now I'm advancing the ignition key. Here goes rocket 1.
Steve? Steve, you all right?
Yeah. Feels like somebody slugged me with a sledgehammer. Airspeed now 1,200. Here goes number 2. She's okay, Hank. Running like a Swiss watch. She's okay.
Hello, Steve. Your last rocket's time is now 4 minutes. What's your altitude? Over to you.
The speed 4,400, still climbing. Altitude 297 miles.
All right, you're at the outer limit. Level off for maneuver tests. You've got exactly 6 minutes fuel left.
I'm starting at 3-degree left bank. She's a little sluggish. There, it's all right. There's a low vibration somewhere. Maybe the cockpit cover. My view screen's a little fogged. Now I'm straightening out.
5 minutes fuel left.
Now I'm starting at 3-degree right. Hey, of all the...
What's the matter? What's wrong?
There's something up here. Something shining.
What are you talking about?
There's something above me, Hank. I'm going to chase it.
Steve, you're at the outer limit now.
I can see it plain now.
Now, Steve, don't go any higher. You've only got 4 minutes left. You've only got...
I'm getting static. I can't hear you, Hank. It's dead ahead now. I'm going to make a pass at it and get a good look. Here goes. Hey, it's swerving to meet me. It's dead ahead now. Look out, it's dead ahead.
Hello, Steve. Steve, come in.
9 minutes fuel gone.
There's still no sign
Hello.
of radar.
Hello, Steve. What happened? Charlie, get the crash squad out. Tell the Army squadron to alert their search plane.
Right.
9.5 minutes gone.
Hello, Steve. Steve, listen to me. What's happened? Where the devil is he? Hello. Come in, Steve. Steve, come in. Hello, Steve. Hello, Steve.
10 minutes.
Steve.
That's the end of the fuel.
How long has it been now?
10 hours, Mr. Hanson.
Nothing more on radar, Sergeant?
Screen's blank.
Colonel Carulli called in. The search planes are back. Couldn't find anything.
Should be some trace.
He couldn't have bailed out, could he?
You don't hit the silk at 4,400 miles an hour. We either went past the outer limit and ran out of fuel, or something blew, and we'll find the pieces scattered from here to the coast. Why does it have to be the best man? Always the best man. Charlie, we got to figure out what was wrong.
Right.
Something must have blown.
Goodbye. Mr. Hanson, there's a message from Northside Hospital for Steve.
Well, what is it?
Mrs. Weston is fine. It's a boy.
Oh, thank you, Elsie. It's a boy, Charlie.
Yeah.
Fine. It's a boy. We didn't even know that she went to the hospital. How am I going to tell Mary that?
No, it wasn't your fault, Mr. Hanson. The ship was tested.
Yeah, we'll build another, and some other flying fool will shoot past the outer limit into space. Well, I'm getting old, Charlie. You can remember when I used to take them up myself. Now I've got to send other men.
Look, it's a job, Mr. Hanson.
Now I'm afraid. Every time I hear a jet go off, I jump. Every time I have to send somebody up in a new model, I start to sweat.
Mr. Hanson.
Yeah?
I think I've got something on the radar.
No flights scheduled in, are there, Elsie?
No, the whole day's cleared.
Coming in behind us. Here he comes over the building.
Yeah. What crazy jockey is buzzing the field like that? Is that an Army plane, Charlie?
No, I can't see. Here he comes back again. I know that engine. Yes, it's Steve.
That's impossible.
Look, that's his ship.
It can't be.
He's circling back for landing.
Charlie, clear the field.
He's coming back in. Mr. Hanson, there's not another ship in the world that looks like that. I tell you, it's got to be Steve.
Thank God.
All right, sit down over there, Steve. Quicker we get this done, the quicker you get over to see Mary and the baby. Elsie, give the order to check and refuel the rockets. I don't want anybody in here till I get Steve's reports. Bury any calls. All right, Steve, let's have it. What the devil happened to you?
Hank, that cosmic ray bomb. Does it still go off tonight?
What are you talking about? Straighten out, Steve. Where have you been for the last 10 hours?
Listen, Hank, there's something more important.
Now, come on. I've got to get a report on the screen to Washington, so let's have it, will you? I've got to know how you stretched 10 minutes fuel to keep you in the air for 10 hours.
One thing before
now,
I talk.
Look, Steve.
Will you have the Geiger men run over the ship before they refuel?
What did you run into?
So help me, Hank, I don't know. We better check and make sure it isn't radioactive.
Elsie, add a Geiger report on the standard check. Steve, maybe we better have the medics look you over, too.
No, I'm all right. They said I'd be all right.
They? Look, son, I know you've had a tough time, but we've had this field on the alert for 10 hours, boy. One of the Army boys cracked up looking for you, and he's hurt bad. So let's have the story. Let's have it straight.
I don't know how to tell you, Hank. Hank, I saw something up there.
At 300 miles?
I chased something up there, Hank, and I caught it.
Now, don't hand me that,
Listen,
Steve.
Listen! I was cruising along, just starting the right bank when I spotted something. Must have been going about half my speed. It was egg-shaped and smooth. I made a pass at it, and I came back for another, and then there was a humming sound.
Humming?
Sort of a vibration. And then I blacked out. I was headed straight for it at 4,400 miles an hour. I thought it was going to be the biggest smash since Hiroshima. And listen, Hank, is there a drink in that bottle?
Yeah, sure. Well? What happened?
Hank, I came to inside their ship.
Steve, this whole thing has been a devil of a strain on you. I'm going to call Major Donaldson from the Army base, ask him to sit in.
The psychiatrist? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let him run his tests. He'll tell you I'm not kidding. Because, Hank, unless I miss my guess, I've just been tipped off to the way the world ends.
You should be getting drowsy now. Count backwards from 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6.
He's under. Now we attach the head plate electrodes and the cortical pickup. Look up for that wire, Mr. Hanson. 3.0 setting and 31.3. Now, throw that switch, Mr. Hanson. I have to start him off by suggestion. All right, Steve. You're in your ship now. You're in the rocket.
Rocket?
You're in the rocket. You're in the rocket, and you've just sighted something strange.
Now I'm starting at 3° right.
What's that?
Hey, there's something up there. Something shining.
His memory pattern. We're picking it up electronically.
Something above me, Hank. I'm going to chase it.
Right through the audio circuits.
Getting static. I can't hear you, Hank.
This is where we lost contact with him.
I'm going to make a pass at it. Hey, it's swerving to meet me. It's dead ahead now. Look out. It's dead ahead.
Now what?
This is where he blacked out. No telling how long. Minutes or hours.
What's that noise?
I don't know.
Where? How did I get here? What? Who are you?
Is he seeing things?
Galactic Patrol. What's that?
But what are they saying, Steve? What are they saying?
It's about nuclear fission. They know about it. They know the danger of it. Long ago, they had wars that almost destroyed them. But finally, they learned. Now they've outlawed war.
Go on, Steve.
They patrol space. When their detector picks up an atomic explosion, they send a patrol. They've been observing Earth, and they found wars and rumors of wars.
What are they going to do?
They've quarantined us.
Quarantine?
They've isolated all Earth because we're infected with a communicable disease. Because we don't know how to control ourselves yet. Until we learn, we'll be a menace to the whole universe.
What is this nonsense?
Quiet. How are they going to do it, Steve?
Well, they've spread out a layer here of I don't know what to call it. It's all around the Earth. It's miles deep. And when there's an atomic explosion on Earth, the radioactive particles will drift up to this layer and set off a chain reaction that'll go around the world in microseconds. And that's the end. Yes? Yes, I understand. You've got to bring back the warning. You're going to put me back in my ship to bring the warning.
Now what?
Blacked out again. I guess that's all.
What does all that mean?
It's what he remembers.
You don't think that really happened?
No. Narco-psychometry circuits produce what he remembers. Just means that Steve believes this happened.
No, I don't like to see this. I've seen too many top pilots snap. Steve is the best I've known. How bad do you think he is?
Well, frankly, outside of the presence of this well-organized hallucination, there are no signs of unbalance. May not be too serious. If he had a more plausible story, I'd be inclined to believe him.
Warning. Hank.
It's all right, boy.
Did you hear it, Hank? Do you understand?
Oh, sure. We've been quarantined.
Now, let me give you something to make you sleep, Steve.
But don't you understand? They fixed it so that if we set off one more nuclear explosion, we will have had it.
Of course. Now, don't roll your sleeve out.
You don't believe me?
Now, take it easy, Steve.
But the tests are setting off the cosmic ray bomb, Hank, tonight. What time is it?
11:20.
It's scheduled for midnight. Hank, we've got to stop that bomb.
Let Donaldson give you the hypos.
You got to believe me. I saw them. I got the warning. If we touch off the Q-bomb tonight, we'll be the biggest galactic 4th of July of all time. The whole Earth will go up like a Roman candle. April 10th, 1965, the end.
Look, Steve, you better calm down now. Don't you want to see Mary and the baby? You've got a new son, remember?
That's just it. I want to see my son. I want him to live. If the bomb goes off, Hank, we've got to stop it.
Mr. Hanson, I think we'd better get over to the base hospital.
Hank, you got to believe me.
Sure, Steve. Maybe there's something to it. Look, it's out of our hands now, Steve. I'll put it in a report, shove it into Washington in the morning.
In the morning? There won't be any morning, Hank. You've got to call Washington now. Get the head of the Security Commission and postpone the test.
Now, you know I can't do that. My neck would be out a mile. Besides, this is 1965, not 45. 20 countries have the atomic bomb now. What's the use of stopping just this one? The rest will keep right on popping them off.
Well, we'll have to call an international conference. Can't you understand, Hank? The first one that goes off finishes us. It's the end. They've given us a quarantine warning.
Steve, I think you'd better go with us to the base hospital.
Look, Steve, we can call up for a detail if we have to.
All right, I'll go with you. You don't need a straitjacket.
That's the way, Steve. You'll probably feel better by morning. Let's go.
Tomorrow I'll drive you over to the hospital to see Mary and the kid.
Yeah, sure.
Look at the ship under the floodlights. Pretty, huh? You'll be flying her again soon, Steve. Don't worry.
Yeah, I guess so. What's she doing out on the line? They refuel her?
Yeah, we got Clausewitz coming in tomorrow from Denver for another test. Figure we'd give you a day off.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine.
Steve.
Hey, go.
Come on, Donaldson. Steve! Steve, come back here.
He's heading for the rocket.
That's crazy. Steve! Get down off of there, Steve! We can't get at him now. That hood is armor glass.
He's waving.
It's control. The radio. Come on.
I should have gotten help.
Come on. The radio is still hooked up. Hello, Steve.
Listen to me, Hank. You got to call Washington now.
Look, Steve, come out of the rocket.
I'll call my men, Henson.
Don't try anything, Hank. They refueled the rocket for tomorrow.
Take it easy, Steve.
Listen, you know what'll happen if I fire the rocket tubes down here?
Steve, don't, please.
It'll burn out every building for 5 miles. All of us in one big blast.
What do you want, Steve?
You got to stop that bomb. You got to call Washington now.
They won't believe me.
You make that call or I cut in the rocket. I mean it, Hank. You hook my screen to yours in parallel. I want to see exactly what you're doing.
All right. Just don't fire those rockets.
Get going, Hank. You got 12 minutes to make that call and stop the bomb.
All right. I'm making the parallel hookup now. Donaldson, you think he'll really blast?
I don't know. Up to now, I'd almost say it was normal, but this Hanson, he's liable to do anything.
Steve, there, you're getting it on your screen?
Yeah. Now put that call through.
All right.
Operator,
Visit screen to Washington.
the visit screen circuits are busy, sir. If you try again in half an hour.
This is a Security Commission priority. Break in. Get me a line.
Just a moment, please.
10 minutes, Hank.
Listen, Steve, I'm trying.
Ready to take your call, sir.
Washington Security Commission 3. Urgent. I want Undersecretary Herbert Ames.
Washington 3. One moment, please.
Hurry, will you, please?
One moment, please.
Chicago.
San Marco calling Washington visit screen 3. Urgent.
Washington 3. One moment, please.
What time is it, Donaldson?
11:51.
Do you think he'll fire those rockets?
He might.
Washington.
Go ahead, San Marco.
Visit screen 3. Mr. Herbert Ames.
That is a coded exchange. I cannot accept your call without clearance.
Listen, Washington, put this through. This is Mr. Hanson of Hanson Rockets Incorporated at San Marco Air Base. This is a priority call. I'm coded.
One moment, please. I will check your code number.
Get it through, Hank. That phone goes off at 12.
Will you be reasonable, Steve?
Your call has cleared, San Marco. Washington visit screen 3. Herbert Ames.
This is your call, sir.
Security Commission. Ames. Oh, hello, Hanson.
Listen, Ames. You've got to get me the chief.
You kidding? He's at the test control room.
Yes, I know, but get him for me.
Hey, what's up? You look lousy. Or is it a bad circuit?
There's no time, Ames. I've got to get him before the test. It's about the ray bomb.
I can't take the responsibility.
Get it through, Hank, or I blast.
Hey, what's going on there?
Ames, my project has a high enough rating. This is a priority A call.
What? Well, it's your neck. Okay, I'll try to get him for you. He's in the control room, though. You'll have to switch off your screen and speaker and go on earphones. Too much going on in there. Security, you know.
You hear that, Steve? I've got to cut the screen.
All right. 8 minutes, Hank.
Hello? Hello? Yes, sir. This is Hanson at San Marco. No, sir. Priority A request to cancel the bomb test. No, look, I'm serious. I'm deadly serious. We sent the X-2JTR up today to the outer limit, and we uncovered evidence. Yes, on the automatic instruments. What's that? No, this possible chain reaction. No, I can't tell you the whole story. There isn't time. Yes, I'll bring the readings into Washington in the morning. You've got to postpone the test till you see them. Yes, I understand that. I understand about the press. I'll take complete responsibility for this. What's that? Look, I've worked on contracts for the Commission for 10 years now. Yes, I have complete confidence in my information. You can record that. All right. I'll call you back immediately. Goodbye.
Hank?
He's agreed to cancel. The ray bomb won't go off.
Thank God.
All right, Steve. You can come down out of the ship.
There he comes. He's opening up.
All right, Steve. Come on down out of the ship.
Sure, Hank. Hank, I was scared. I was plain scared.
All right, easy now. It's all over. Bomb won't go off.
Thank God. Hey, look. I want to see Mary and the baby. Can you get me transportation now?
Oh, wait a minute. It's almost 12. They won't let you in the hospital now.
I want to see the baby.
For sure you do, but you've been under strain. I've got a shot here for you, Steve. Give you a good night's sleep. All right. Roll up your sleeve.
Sure.
Now, that'll make you sleep. Sergeant will find you a bed.
Come on, Mr. Weston. Well, good night, Hank. I am kind of beat. It's been a tough night.
Sure has. Thought for a minute he was going to blast those rockets and send us all to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
Quite a stunt getting the ray bomb test called off.
It isn't called off.
But the call.
Ames couldn't get the chief. I was talking to a blank screen. Bomb goes off in a couple of minutes.
Oh. Poor Steve. He's one of the best.
He was the best. 1 in 10 million.
Some story of this, poor guy. For a while, he almost had me believing that quarantine. That's a very common delusion. The end of the world.
Last night, never saw the stars so bright.
Better be getting in. That wind is cold.
Bomb goes off in 30 seconds. Poor Steve.
You know, Hanson, there's just one thing.
Yeah?
It's outside my field, but I'm curious. How did he keep that ship in the air for 10 hours with only 10 minutes fuel?
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Outer Limit by Graham Dorr, as adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Joseph Julian, Wendell Holmes, Joe DeSantis, Bob Hastings, James Dukas, and Freddie Chandler. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
You don't have to stop whatever you're doing to listen to your radio. Though you may have a lot to do whatever you've got to do. NBC will still get through with music and drama, a life panorama. NBC's always got something brewing. Listen and you'll agree that there's always a smile from a twist of the dial to radio. NBC.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Can you predict the future? Can you tell what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Tonight we present two ventures into the unknown. Two fantasies of the future, chosen from the works of one of our most brilliant young science fiction writers, Ray Bradbury. First, his story entitled, There Will Come Soft Rains. The house was a good house, planned and built to be lived in the year 1980. The real estate agent had told them all about it.
Now, this is the bedroom. Of course, it contains all the latest devices, self-warming blankets, and, there's a brand new feature. Beds, which make themselves. Now, if you just step this way through the library, we can see the latest in talking book recorders, self-building fireplace, self-cleaning robot dust disposal. Oh, these little mouse-like things come out of the wall and take away all the dirt. Now, over this way. As a complete robot kitchen, of course. Just set the menu for the week and the stove does the rest. Then there's the automatic hydroponic garden, self-sprinkling fire protection. See, the house is fully automatic. Why, you could go away for a year and it would run itself.
And so the family took the house. The man and the woman and the two children. A boy and a girl. And they lived contentedly, enjoying music and poetry and the rich, warm things in life. And the house fed them and slept them and entertained them. It made a good life for them. Until one day, there were 10,000 explosions, and the world shook, and red fire and ashes and radioactivity fell from the sky. The happy time was over.
Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, time to rise, open your eyes. Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, time to rise, open your eyes.
But the house lay empty. The clock talked to the empty morning. In the kitchen, the stove sighed and ejected from its warm interior 8 eggs, sunny side up, 12 bacon slices, 2 coffees, and 2 cups of hot cocoa.
7, 9, breakfast time, come and dine. 7, 9.
Today is April 28th, 1985. Today, remember, is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Insurance, gas, atom heat, and electricity bills are due.
In the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes. Recorded voices moved beneath steel meters.
8, 1, run, run, off to school, off to work, run, tick-tock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
But no doors slammed. No carpets took the quick tread of rubber heels. At 8:30, the eggs began to shrivel. An aluminum wedge scraped them into the sink.
9:15, time to clean. 9:15, time to clean.
Out of the wall, hundreds of tiny mechanical mice darted. The rooms were acrawl with small, cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They sucked up the hidden dust and dirt and popped back into their burrows. At 10 o'clock, the sun came out from behind the rain. The house stood alone on a street where all the other houses were rubble and ashes. At night, the ruined town gave off a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. At 10:15, the garden sprinkler filled the soft morning air with golden fountains. The water tinkled over the charred west side of the house, the side which had been facing the blast. It was blank, except in 5 places. One of the 5 places was a silhouette of a man mowing a lawn, just as he'd been the instant the radioactivity burned his image into the side of the house. Over there, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still further over, their images burned into the wood, where a small boy, hands flung into the air. Higher up, the image of a thrown ball, and opposite, a girl, her hands raised to catch a ball which never came down. 5 people. 5 spots of paint. On the front porch, the dog whined and shivered. The front door recognized the dog's voice and opened. The dog padded in wearily, thin to the bone, covered with sores. It ran to the kitchen and pawed the kitchen door wildly. Behind the door, the stove was making pancakes which filled the house with their odor, as prescribed by the automatic preset menu selector. The dog frog ran insanely, spun in a circle, biting its tail, and died.
1 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Delicately sensing decay, the regiments of mice hummed out of the walls, soft as blown leaves, their electric eyes glowing.
1:15.
The dog was gone.
2:15.
Bridge tables unfolded from the walls of the patio. Playing cards fluttered onto pads. Martinis appeared on an oaken bench. But the tables were silent, the cards untouched.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Dinner was made, ignored, flushed away. Dishes were washed. In the study, the tobacco stand produced a cigar with half an inch of gray ash upon it, smoking, waiting, waiting. The hearth fire bloomed out of nothing.
9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
The beds began to warm their hidden circuits, and the phonograph spoke from beside the fireplace.
Mrs. McClelland, what poem would you like to hear this evening? Mr. McClelland? Since you express no preference, I shall select at random from among your favorites. Sarah Teasdale, There Will Come Soft Rains.
There will come soft rains, and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire, and not one will know of war. Not one will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone.
The phonograph finished the poem. The empty chairs faced each other between the silent walls. At 10 o'clock that evening, the house began to die. The wind blew the bough of a falling tree into the kitchen window, smashing it. A bottle of cleaning fluid crashed on the stove. Water pumps shot down from the ceiling. But the solvent spread onto the doors, making fire as it went. Other voices in other rooms taking up the alarm. The windows broke with the heat, and the wind blew in to help the fire. The fire crackled upstairs at paintings, lay hungrily on the beds, devoured the rooms. The house began to shudder. The bared skeleton began to cringe in the heat. The wires revealed as if a surgeon had torn the skin off. Voices screamed in every room. Windows snapped open and shut like undecided mouths. A thousand things were happening at once, like the interior of a clock shop at midnight. All the clocks were striking, making a merry-go-round of squeaking, whispering, and rushing. In the kitchen, the stove, hissing hysterically, was making breakfast at a psychopathic rate. 10 dozen pancakes, 6 dozen loaves of toast. Then, there was silence. The film spools were burned out. The wires withered and the circuits cracked. Then the house began to breathe its last. The beams began to give at the foundations. Long cracks appeared in the concrete. The seams were burst from the heat. And finally, with a huge rumble, it crashed into dust and rumble. Dawn shone faintly in the east. In the ruins of the house, only one wall remained standing. And within the wall, even as the sun rose to shine upon the burning rubble, a voice spoke again and again and again.
No one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone, that we were gone, that we were gone, that we were gone.
Today is April 29th, 1985. Today is April 29th, 1985.
Strange are the uses of Providence. Is this how the end will come for mankind, with 10,000 explosions and a flash of radioactive gas? Or will destruction come more subtly, extended to us gently and innocently in, let's say, the hand of a child? Who knows in what manner 0 hour may arrest the world we know? It was a perfect summer day in the year 1985. The streets were lined with green, peaceful trees. Businessmen sat in their quiet offices, taping their voices or watching televisors. Rockets hovered like darning needles in the blue sky. There was the universal quiet conceit and easiness of men accustomed to peace, quite certain that there would never be war or trouble again. There were no traitors among men, no unhappy ones, no disgruntled ones. The world was upon stable ground. Sunlight illumined the suburbs, and the town drowsed on a tide of warm, sunlit air. On the lawns, the children played, catapulting this way and that across the green grass, shouting at each other, holding hands, flying in circles, climbing trees and laughing. And in the homes, busy mothers prepared for the evening arrival of their husbands.
Heavens, Mick, what's all the excitement?
We're playing a game, Mommy. The most exciting game ever.
What are you doing in that cabinet?
I need some tools from Daddy's kit.
Your father may not like...
Oh, I'll take good care of them, Mom. I promise.
Very well. Don't you lose anything.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
You want a glass of milk?
Can't start now, Mom.
What's the name of the game, Mink?
Invasion.
Invasion. What will they think of next?
Now put that there and bring that over here. Oh, no, you ninny. Now get back while I fix this. There, they want it this way, see? Here, just let me fix it. Oh, Mink, it's that smarty pants Joseph Connors. Don't let him play. He's 12 years old. Don't worry, I won't.
What you playing, Mink?
None of your business, smarty pants.
I want to play.
Can't.
Why not?
You're too old.
Just 'cause you're only 8.
No, you'd only laugh at us and spoil the invasion. Make him go away, Mink. Go away. This is my backyard.
Who wants to play with you and your old fairies anyway?
They aren't fairies.
Nuts to you. I don't want to play anyway.
Good riddance. I'm glad you didn't let him play, Mink. He'd only laugh. Now, we better talk to Drill and get some more instructions, Art. Now, here's your pad and pencil. Where is Drill? Drill? Here, Drill. Drill? He's in the rose bush, I think. I'll talk to him myself, and you write it down in the pad. Okay. Drill? Drill? Okay. Drill wants you to write down triangle. What's a triangle? Never mind. Drill will tell us when he wants us to know. It helps the invasion. How do you spell it? Well, I'll ask Drill. Drill, how do you make that? Here's your mother, looking out the window.
Mink?
Yes, Mother?
Who are you talking to?
The rose bush, Mom. Only it's not really a rose bush. That's Drill.
Who's Drill?
He's planning the invasion.
Oh, I see. Well, you better come in and clean up for supper. Your daddy will be home soon.
In just a second, Mom. You got that, Art? See, now what? 4, 9, 7, and A, and B, and X, and a fork, and some string, and a hexagonal droopy.
Come on, Mink. Supper's in 10 minutes.
Okay, Mom. Just a minute. I have to tell Drill. I wish we didn't have to eat, though. It holds up the invasion.
Mink, for heaven's sake, slow down. You'll choke on that soup.
I can't, Mom. It's a matter of life and death.
What's the matter of life and death?
The invasion.
What invasion is that?
Oh, just some silly game the children have been playing.
Well, whatever it is, Mink, it'll wait until you've finished your supper, I'm sure.
I don't want any more.
You've barely touched anything.
Oh, but Drill is waiting for me, Daddy.
Drill? Who's Drill?
He lives in a rose bush in our backyard. Imagination, Henry.
Such nonsense.
I've got to run now.
You'll sit through dessert, young lady.
Oh, gee, Daddy.
And while you're at it, tell me more about this new game.
It's Martians invading Earth, Daddy.
What?
Well, not exactly Martians, Daddy. They're from... Well, gee, I don't know. From up.
And from inside that little head of yours.
You're laughing at me. Drill said you would. You'll kill Drill and everybody.
Oh, I didn't know you could kill a Martian.
But it's not really a Martian, Mom. Maybe it's from Jupiter or Venus, even.
Imagine.
They couldn't figure out a way to attack the Earth. We are impregnable.
Impregnable, dear.
Well, that's the word Drill said, Well, anyway, that was the word, Mom, the same word. Anyway, so we're helping them.
Now, who's helping who?
Well, the kids are helping the Martians.
Well, fifth column, eh?
Well, Drill says in order to make a good fight, you got to have a new way of surprising the people. That way you win. And he says also you got to have help from your enemy.
Pretty slick, those Martians, using the kids for a fifth column, eh, Mary?
And hiding under rose bushes, too, Henry. Don't forget that.
Well, that's because grown-ups never look under rose bushes. Only kids.
Oh, I see. Well, finish your fruit, darling. You can play for an hour afterward.
Mary.
Oh, it's so nice out, Henry. There's no school tomorrow.
Very well. Till 8 o'clock.
Drill says after the invasion, we can stay up as late as we want. No more bets, either.
Oh, is that so?
We can watch all the grown-up televisor shows.
I don't wonder this invasion has caught on among the kids.
Well, some of the kids are giving us trouble, like Dale Britz and Petey Jarrett. They're growing up so they won't believe in the invasion. They make fun. Worse than parents, even. I hate them worst. We'll kill them first.
I hope you're saving your father and me for last.
But Drill says you're dangerous.
What?
But I think they'll let me keep you because I'm helping so much. I'll talk to Drill. Maybe we won't have to kill you.
Mary, I think this nonsense has gone far enough.
Can I go out now, please?
Yeah, run along, dear.
Don't worry, Dad. I won't let them hurt you.
Mary, I think the child's taking this game entirely too seriously. Invasion.
Ah, Henry, you know how Mink is. Besides, all children have their aggressions. Better to get them out in the open, I suppose.
Maybe you're right. I was wondering about bridge with the Jacksons tonight, Mary.
All right. But, you look tired, dear. Why don't you sit in the relaxer for a while and get a massage? I'll sew for a while until it's time to... Oh, I wanted to call my sister Helen.
Oh, good. Find out when her husband's going to return my golf clubs.
Televisor.
Would you please connect me with Mrs. Helen Rogerson on Channel 7-2Z, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What is your channel, please?
817X, New Rochelle, New York.
Thank you. Just a moment. Go ahead. You can see your party now.
Hello, Mary. How are things in New York?
Fine, Helen. How are things in Pittsburgh? You look tired.
Oh, I've been having a terrible time with the children.
Sick?
No, just underfoot. They've got a new game that's got me just about crazy. It's called Invasion.
Did you say invasion?
That's right.
Well, isn't that strange? My Mink is playing it, too.
My boy Tim is all involved with some imaginary fellow named Drill who's running the invasion.
Must be a new password. Mink likes him, too.
How do you suppose these games start? My backyard looks like a scrap drive. They've got every conceivable kind of mechanical gadget arranged out there. I talked to Josephine Schiller in Boston, and she says her kids are wild about it, too. It's sweeping the country.
Remember when it was the Roomba?
Please, dear, I'm not that old.
Mommy!
Oh, please, Minky, I'm on the televisor. Come on, see your Aunt Helen.
Hello, Ming.
Hi, Aunt Helen. Look what I've got.
What is it, honey?
Well, it's the yo-yo. Look what I enrolled it. See?
Well, Helen, look, it vanished. Where did it go?
Into another dim...
She means dimension. Aren't they the darndest thing? My Timmy brought one home, too. I can't figure out how they work. Make it reappear, honey.
There. See, it's easy.
Where'd you get it, dear?
Jill gave it to me, Mom.
Mink?
Bye, Aunt Helen. Gotta run now.
Mink, you come back here. I want to talk to you.
Aunt Mom, 0 hours, 5 o'clock.
Ming!
Bye!
Oh, I can't understand it. The child's never been so unruly. Helen, do you suppose that...
What?
Nothing. Just a wild thought that... Say, the reason I called, I want to get that black and white cake recipe, and Henry wants his golf clubs. I don't know what he'll do, but...
What was that?
I don't know. One of the children must have been hurt. I'll have to run and see. Call me back tonight, will you?
All right, Mary. Bye.
Mink, come here.
Yes, Mom.
What is it? Who screamed?
Peggy Ann.
All right, what happened?
Well, she got scared and went home.
Did you hit her?
No, she just got scared. She's a scare baby anyway. We won't let her play anymore. She's getting too old.
Now, Mink, tell me why she cried.
No, I can't.
Mink, you'll answer me this instant or come inside. I've had enough of this nonsense.
Gee, I can't quit now, Mom. It's almost 0 hour.
Then tell me what frightened Peggy Ann.
Okay, she saw Drill.
Drill?
He almost came through. He was just testing.
Through what?
Well, those pipes and things we set up. She looked into one of the pipes and screamed. I guess she saw Drill.
And no one hit her?
Uh-uh.
Very well, Mink. I'll call Peggy Ann's mother and see how she is. And I'll call you for your bath in half an hour. Your father and I want to go out tonight.
You won't be able to go out, Mom.
Why not?
0 hour is 5 o'clock, Mom.
Hello, dear.
Oh, you home already, Henry?
Yes, I thought I'd relax a little before we went to theater. Where's the little one?
Out back.
Same game?
Same game. They got a stack of pipes and hammers and spoons a mile high out there.
Children, why do we have them?
Yeah, strange little creatures, aren't they? Even Mink, Henry. She's a part of us, and yet what do we really know about how she thinks and feels?
Well, I didn't mean to start a philosophic discussion.
Kids are such a queer mixture of love and hate, though. Even normal, healthy kids. They need you and they're dependent on you, and yet they resent that dependence.
You sound like a child psychology course I once took.
I wonder if they ever really forgive the whippings and the commands we have to give them sometimes. I wonder if we ever forgot them when we were children.
Look, I'd like to discuss this with you, dear, but we do have a theater date, and it's almost 5 o'clock now. What's happened to the kids? They're so quiet. When children are quiet, you know there's some mischief. What's that sound?
I don't know.
These kids aren't playing with anything electrical, are they?
I'm sure they are. At least
Just the same. I'd better go out.
Henry, tell them to put off the invasion.
What? Mary, don't get upset. It's just a game. Good Lord, what's that? Look out the window, Mary. What is it? Where are the children? Mary, why are you shaking? What did you see?
Henry, quick. Up to the attic.
They aren't in the attic.
Yes, the attic. Quick.
Mary, come back here. Mary! Mary, don't go up. They aren't up there. Mary, you out of your mind? There's no one up here.
Quick, shut the door.
What? But there's nothing up here. What is wrong with you? Mary, come to your senses.
Henry, we've got to stay here and hide.
What are you talking about?
I saw it through the window, Henry. It was horrible.
What?
It is an invasion.
For heaven's sake, let's get down out of this attic and talk this over sensibly. I want to find out if Mink is all right.
She's all right. I saw her. She was leading them around the corner of the house.
Leading who? The kids? It's nothing.
Listen.
Huh?
The front door. They're coming.
Good Lord, those kids sound like 50 men with boots on.
Not men. Oh,
huh?
Please, God, don't let them find us. Don't let them please.
I don't understand. Who's there? Who's down there? I demand that you answer me.
They're coming. The whole house is shaking.
Who? Who's there?
Be quiet. They might go away. Henry?
Mink, we've got to save her.
You don't understand. She's bleeding.
What?
She's bleeding. She's on their side. Oh, my God, forgive us.
Children on their side?
She told us, but we wouldn't believe her. Henry, they're coming out!
Mom? Dad, we know you're in there. Well, I guess you better melt the lock, Trill.
Henry, the lock! It's melting! The door! Oh, dear God!
Mom? Dad? Oh, I see you now. Peek-a-boo!
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
Down in the depths of the Euclidean underwater city, the little band of adventurers whom we have come to know as the Gregory Party find themselves faced with a new problem, and probably a new danger. The Euclidean girl submarine commander who helped them to escape from the island has been put out of the Euclidean colony and made a prisoner with the Gregory Party. Jerry and Joan believe the girl to be a good friend of theirs, but Captain Bradford isn't so sure. Some emergency has stopped all activity on Euclidia, and Mrs. Gregory and the captain have gone to find out what they can. Jerry and Joan remain with the girl submarine commander in their quarters.
Hey, you know, Joan, there was something mighty funny about the way Tex was acting when he went out of here.
His manner seemed to be very abrupt.
Well, it was more than that. Golly, Tex doesn't get excited very often, but he was sure off balance about something this time.
Do you think that we said or did anything to offend him?
I believe I know what was troubling the captain.
What?
For some reason, which I cannot understand, he suddenly became suspicious of me.
Of you, Elaine?
Precisely.
Well, what did you do?
Nothing. I merely asked permission to take part in all of your discussions for plans to escape, and the captain decided to leave the room, taking Mrs. Gregory with him.
Oh, that didn't have anything to do with it.
Surely not.
I appreciate your confidence in me, but you are mistaken. I have studied too thoroughly the expressions of faces under strain. I know what the captain was thinking. However, it will not change my plans. I would like to help you, and will continue to do so to the best of my ability.
Oh, gee, Elaine, we know that. Now quit worrying about it, and tell Joan and me what this emergency or something, what's it all about?
I have no more definite knowledge than you two, but I recognized the existence of such an emergency when the concentrated food pellets were substituted for our regular food.
Do you think that all of the Euclideans are now engaged in some important work and could not spare the time to prepare our usual meal?
Precisely. What may have happened, we can only surmise, but it must be serious.
Well, at least they're still here.
Thank heaven for that.
Hey, they're all excited about something.
What has happened, Mother?
Oh, a great deal.
You three haven't moved out of this room since we left?
No, sir.
We have followed your instructions to the letter, Captain.
Good. Now we'll have to work fast.
Doing what?
Escaping from this place.
Escaping?
Yes, Joan, dear. We have a greater chance now than we'll ever have again. What has happened?
One of the chambers...
Silence!
What?
I am sorry. I forgot for the moment. But if you had not spoken, if I had been allowed to count the strokes of that alarm gong, I could have told you where the accident occurred.
Oh, well, then, I'm sorry. I know about what is happening, but I'm not sure where.
I have counted the strokes. There were 12.
12. Chamber 12. The airplane testing chamber. What does it mean? The chamber is being flooded. They would sound a general alarm for nothing else.
Well, that's general, all right. Every Euclidean in the place was running toward the other end of this first big cave.
Yes, that would be correct. Chamber 12 is diametrically opposite our entrance to the city.
Oh, but if that place is flooded, well, we'll all drown.
Isn't there anything we can do?
Oh, I thought something of trying to steal one of those rocket planes, but guards in the locks would stop us.
If the guards are still there.
Those men will remain. I have a plan.
Well, hurry up with it. We need it.
Oh, by all means, Elaine, hurry.
If the captain will allow me.
Huh?
You must trust me now, Captain.
Well, how did you know that what
That
makes
is not
me think I don't?
important now. I have a plan which may save all of our lives.
Oh, we'll hear it gladly.
Did you see your 3 former employees in the agricultural section?
Yes, McLeod, the skipper, and Jim Lowe are still among their pigs and chickens.
They would be of no assistance to the Euclideans. I will take them with me as I pass through there. Where is my Euclidean uniform?
Well, in my room, Elaine.
Give it to me.
Well,
Hurry.
I'll get it.
Well, what's the idea, Elaine?
I am going to steal a rocket plane, taking your 3 employees with me. My Euclidean uniform may get me through the guards, who will not know that I am no longer a Euclidean. If I can get into one of the rocket planes and out into the water, we are saved, at least for the moment.
Oh, yeah, you are. But what about us? We haven't any Euclidean uniform to sneak past those guards with.
You will go up this narrow steel corridor leading to the airlock near the surface of the water.
You mean the one we found in the crest of the volcanic crater?
Precisely. In a panel in the wall, you will find helmets. Put them on. Wait there for me. When the shadow of my plane is over you, fill the lock with water and leave it. I will take you aboard.
But what about provisions, and what of these Euclideans?
Please pull that uniform over my head quickly. I have no time to remove my dress.
Oh, very well. Help me, dear John.
Yes, Mother.
I will take as many precautions as time will permit to safeguard the escape. But we will run certain risks.
Oh, golly whiskers, we're used to that.
How long will it take you to do all this?
Probably less than 180 seconds. I will hurry, and you will not have more than enough time to gain the surface lock.
But what if you fail?
You will still be safe.
Gee. Golly, that girl's got nerve.
Well, Tex?
Oh, I'm sorry I suspected her.
Well, this is no time for such worries. We must be on our way.
Yeah, that's right. But if she gets a rocket plane up there in 3 minutes, we can't get there much ahead of her.
Right. Come on, let's go.
What do we take with us?
Nothing but the clothes we have on.
But, Tex, we're 4,000 miles from Los Angeles.
Oh, and that rocket plane will make it in 4 hours.
That's it, Pat. All we need is a chance to get away.
Are you sure you remember which corridor we take?
Oh, we found it once.
Yes, and we'll find it again. Now, come on, out you go. Everybody, hurry.
Well, let's see. We turn this corner right around to the left.
Well, you lead the way, Jerry.
Good idea. You and Joe in the middle, Pat. Come on, now, I'll bring up the rear.
All right. Well, come on, then. Now, we'll have to hurry to beat that girl to the top of this thing.
Oh, I don't like to be walking on this noiseless steel at a time like this. It's too easy for someone to slip up on us.
So Jerry and I thought, Mother, until we discovered that all of these polished steel walls act as mirrors if anyone is following or approaching you.
Why, sure they do. If we can see ourselves in them, why, we could see other people.
Well, if anybody could see how we look now, they'd sure get a laugh out of us.
We aren't dressed for a 1,000-mile trip, and we're going to get wet and cold in that water.
Yeah, and we're also going to get away from Euclidia. If we can trust that girl.
I think you may do so, Captain.
Well, I don't want you to think that I'm in the habit of running around suspecting people without reason. So I'll tell you why I'm afraid of that girl. Come on, let's keep walking as I tell you.
Oh, yeah? Well, what is it?
Well, she's been carrying a ray gun around with her. She advised us to leave ours in the sleeping room.
Are you sure of that?
Positive.
I think I can explain that.
Oh, golly. I wish you would, June, so the captain would stop suspecting that swell girl.
I will. The commander, or Elaine, as we now know her, was afraid that Jerry might use the ray guns at the wrong moment, act on the spur of the moment, and do us more harm than good.
Oh, is that so? She didn't think I had enough sense to take care of one of those things, huh? Well, maybe she isn't such a swell girl after all.
Oh, take it easy, kid. It was all for your own good.
Well, I suppose it was, but golly, well, I never did get any fun out of things that were for my own good.
Well, at least that relieves our minds.
This is a very steep climb. How much farther must we go?
Only a little ways now. I think I can see the door to the lock. There, just ahead of us.
Oh, that can't be, Tex. We made a turn just before we came to the door.
You sure of that, Jerry?
You bet I'm sure.
Tex, suppose you can't locate the door.
We'll locate it, all right. We did locate it.
Oh, no, we didn't. That's just the turn in the wall you bumped into.
You are correct, Jerry.
How much, Father?
Getting tired, Pat?
Well, we're climbing awfully fast.
Oh, it's just a little ways now. We're walking on solid rock.
We must have come up at least 200 feet, I think.
No, not quite. Our quarters are about 200 feet below the surface, and this lock is about 30 feet.
Oh, here's the door, Tex.
Right. Now get the palms of your hands against it.
Aye, aye, Skipper.
Why, that door slides down.
Yes, Mother. I presume there is no room for it to slide in any other direction.
That's right. We're in a narrow ledge of rock in the edge of the old volcano crater. Mighty little room. All right. Okay, now in we go.
Now, where's that panel with the diving helmets in it?
It must be here, Jerry. This is the only opaque panel in the entire room.
Well, let's have a look then.
Here, I'll give you a hand, Jerry. Now, Pat, you and Joan watch out into the water in all directions. Tell us the minute you see the shadow of that girl's rocket plane on the surface.
Tex, she isn't on time.
She didn't give herself enough time. We're not ready for her anyway.
I've got it, Tex. It's opening. Hey, and there's the helmet.
And here comes the shadow of the... Why, I thought you said she'd have a rocket plane. That shadow was made by a submarine.
I think not. Here, start putting on your helmet.
No, Mother. The rocket planes look like submarines.
Here's a helmet for you, Joan. Come on, get into it quick.
Right. Now, you go up first, Jerry. All right, you next, Joan. Then Pat. Now follow. Open that valve, kid.
Open it is.
Now, helmet's on quick. Now, just swim up. It's only 30 feet. Lock is opening. All right, shoot, kid. Good luck, everybody.
Hey, Skipper! Open up, will you?
Come aboard as rapidly as possible, Jerry. Make room for the others.
Okay, Skipper. Boy, you sure move fast. Hey, Joe, over here.
I'm coming, Jerry.
Throw away your helmet.
I have done so.
Up forward, out of the way, Jerry. Hurry, Joan.
I will get in as rapidly as possible.
Everybody here?
All here, Tex.
Where's Jerry?
Jerry is aboard. Hurry up forward, Joan. Come, Mrs. Gregory.
Well, I'll do my best. Oh, these wet clouds.
Here, wait a minute. I'll give you a hand, Pat.
Up forward, please, Mrs. Gregory.
Be in the second lane.
Close the door after you. I will prepare to take off.
Okay, Elaine. Now we're all shipshape.
Brace yourselves up forward as well as you can. We are crowded, but not overloaded. We will now take off.
Oh, boy, we're off again.
And in 4 hours we'll be home.
4,000 miles away.
That's pretty fast, but it's the best way to leave Euclidean.
Hey, Elaine, where's the skipper, McLeod, and the Chinese cook?
They are in the forward baggage compartment. Everyone is safe. I will set my course for Los Angeles.
How soon will the Euclideans take out after us?
Not 4 hours. I have magnetized their submarine locks. We will not be overtaken on this flight.
Once more, the Gregory party has escaped from Euclidia. It seems a little out of place to escape from the very locality you've come to capture, but sometimes a well-ordered retreat is the best manner of attack. Captain Bradford has discovered exactly where and how he will use his universal solvent to take over the weird underwater colony of Euclidia. But he hasn't any of the materials necessary to compound the formula, and the only way to get them is a quick return to Los Angeles. The Euclidean girl submarine commander has proven a real friend and has taken one of the Euclidean rocket planes. We find the girl commander at the controls now, as the entire Gregory party of 7 other people ride with her at a speed of 1,000 miles an hour. They have been in the air 4 hours since leaving Euclidia and are almost over Los Angeles.
I believe, Captain Bradford, that we will be ready to land in Los Angeles in less than 600 seconds.
10 minutes to Los Angeles?
Precisely.
And we've come more than 4,000 miles in 4 hours.
Well, the wonderful part about it is there's no noise, no sensation.
Boy, there was plenty of sensation when that plane like this one went down with us, wasn't there, Tex?
Yeah, plenty, Jerry, but Elaine seems to have better luck with this one.
I think it is not a matter of luck, Captain. Elaine is the finest pilot in Euclidia.
Right, Joan?
Yes, Joan, dear. The type of flying Elaine has done during the past 4 hours wasn't luck.
I'm glad my work as a pilot meets with your approval.
It certainly does, Elaine.
Oh, Mother.
Yes, Joan?
Look down.
Oh, I've been looking. Can't see a thing.
Not much visibility. What's our altitude now, Elaine?
We have descended to 4,000 feet.
4,000 feet? Well, that must be a very heavy fog below us.
It is indeed, and soon it will be all around us. I must descend if we hope to locate Los Angeles.
Yes, and after we locate, it's going to be fun to find a place to land there.
Surely it will not be difficult. We will have the entire ocean.
Oh, no, we won't. You just can't flop down a rocket plane anywhere around Los Angeles. Well, you'd have so many people around you, you'd be sunk before you could land.
That is not reasonable, Jerry.
It is to us, Elaine. Our people have never seen anything like this.
Afraid that won't do, Elaine. We'll have to locate some place where we can get out of this plane and hide away before anybody knows we're home.
I cannot help you now. I know nothing of small bodies of water near your home.
I got it. Can't we get word to Johnson to meet us?
Well, of course, Jerry. But it will have to be someplace very near home. Elaine says we'll be over the city in a few minutes.
Well, this is close to home, all right. If it's big enough. How much water do you need to land this ship in? I mean, how long a body of water?
I would prefer 100 feet. I can land in 80 if it is necessary.
80 feet?
But this plane is 65 feet long.
Precisely. My helium tanks are full. We will inflate the shell to its capacity, using the emergency balloons of fabric. It is possible to settle down almost vertically.
You mean you've got balloons hidden in the roof of this thing? And all you've got to do is turn some helium into them?
Precisely.
Well, golly whiskers.
Yeah, me too, son. Hey, we're losing altitude rapidly now, aren't we?
We are. I would suggest that you call your Mr. Johnson at once.
Oh, he'll be so surprised. When we talked to him an hour ago, we were 1,000 miles from here.
Mr. Johnson knows our speed. He will be waiting for the call.
Is this radio ready now, Elaine?
You may proceed.
Well, where's your body of water, Jerry?
Lake Hollywood.
Lake Hollywood?
Is that large enough, Tex?
Plenty large enough. We've got several hundred feet of water surface there, but it's in a bad spot in the fog.
I will not worry about the fog, Captain Bradford. When you assure me we are within reasonable range of this lake, I will take care of the fog.
You will what?
I will remove the fog from my path.
I did not know that was possible. In fact, I am learning that I knew very little of Euclidia.
I think we're all learning that, Joan.
But how can you do anything about
Here,
it?
hold it, Jerry. I'd better get Johnson. CQ Johnson. Hello, Johnson. Bradford to Johnson. Are you getting me?
Go ahead, Bradford. Your signal is strong. Johnson. Waiting. Go ahead.
We're almost over Los Angeles. Be there in a matter of 5 minutes or so. Going to land on Lake Hollywood. Rush up there with transportation for 8 of us. Keep it quiet. Repeat.
Meet you at Lake Hollywood as soon as possible. Transportation for 8. Keep it quiet. Johnson.
That's all. Wait, Johnson. Hold on.
Waiting.
Leave the gates open so we can run into the grounds and into the house on the double quick. We might pick up a curious friend. That's all.
Everything will be ready. That's all.
Your man Johnson is dependable.
Oh, Johnson's a treasure. He thought we were all lost when the island sank beneath that artificial eruption. But when we located him with the radio an hour ago, he was as calm as if we'd just left him at lunch.
I would say that Mr. Johnson had never given up hope of news from us.
He sure hadn't. And I can't see why.
Well, I can. Johnson came down on one of those boats that saw the eruption and sailed away. But Johnson wasn't fooled a bit. He knew that if the explosion had been real, if the island had actually been destroyed, some evidence of it would have floated to the surface.
What an amazingly simple reasoning.
Almost childish. Yet none of us thought of it, except Tex.
And Johnson.
You will learn, Elaine, that Captain Bradford and Mr. Johnson do many amazing things together.
That is obvious. One moment. Captain Bradford.
Yes?
The fog is not solid ahead. I see a tall building.
Oh, well, that's the Los Angeles City Hall.
We're too low to get over to Lake Hollywood.
You take the controls, Captain.
Hey, I'm no wizard with these ships.
You are familiar with landmarks. I will retard our speed to 100 miles an hour or less. You will fly us into a position over the lake. I will land the plane.
Okay, Skipper.
How far are we from the lake, Captain?
Only a few miles. Cut the speed as much as you can, will you, Elaine?
I am doing so, and I will begin to use helium in the shell. After I attain 100% buoyancy, the speed may be negligible.
Boy, oh boy. I hope we don't wind up on Lookout Mountain.
I'm taking no chances, Jerry. I can get an occasional glimpse of Riverside Drive down there. I'll follow it around behind the hills. That's the easiest way to get in.
Are we not in great danger of being seen from the ground?
Well, I should think so, but we can't do anything about it.
We are making no sound, and we will not attract much attention, merely passing through openings in this fog.
Yeah, I guess we're all right there.
Yeah, nobody could get a second look at us anyway. We're nearly there. Better cut speed some more.
I am doing so.
Johnson can't possibly get to the lake from my home in this length of time, Tex.
He won't be far behind us, and remember that we're not down the lake yet.
The fog is thicker here, is it not?
Sure is. I can't see any holes in it now.
Well, I've got the general direction of the lake spotted, but I'll never hit it exactly in this step.
Well, what did you say about controlling the fog?
I will use the fog ray. That will give us perfect visibility from this plane to the ground, in a circle 100 feet in diameter.
Gee, can you do that?
I said I would do it.
Well, isn't it time to try it, Tex?
I don't like to use it until we absolutely have to. That circle cut out of the fog is going to attract the attention of anyone we fly over.
There is no other course, Captain. You cannot land in this fog.
You're right, June. I guess. Turn on, Skipper.
I am doing so.
I never saw anybody who could be doing what people want you to do before they want it, like you can.
I have been well trained.
Joan, Jerry, look down.
Mother, we can see the ground.
Sure can.
The ray is not perfectly focused for this altitude. I will clear it up.
No, don't. That little haze along the ground may be our greatest protection. I can see what I want. And I'm way off my course.
Are we in danger, Captain?
The only danger we're in is that of going to San Francisco. We're miles over into the valley. I can't get used to the speed of these things.
We are now making only 80 miles an hour.
Oh, it's that fog, Tex. You can't gauge your speed through that stuff.
Here, I'll cut it around hard. At 80 miles an hour, we should be over the lake in a couple of minutes.
Is the lake entirely surrounded by mountains?
Well, they're not exactly mountains, Joan. Just hills. But even so, it would be a little embarrassing to fly into one.
No danger of that with this fog cleared away under us.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good straight ahead, though.
Don't need it, son. I know every wrinkle in this terrain. We'll slip in over the lake with 100 feet to spare.
That should be ample.
Perhaps. But it is not a great deal.
No, Joan, dear, but we haven't a great deal of time either. Remember that it would defeat our purpose to be discovered at this time.
It would appear that this local fog is most fortunate.
It sure is. All right, Elaine, take it over. There's the lake right under us.
Oh, golly. Now we overshot it.
That is of no moment. I will circle down and remain within this radius.
Are we going to land smoothly?
There is no reason why we should not. Why do you ask?
Well, the rest of our crew aren't any too comfortable crowded into that front compartment.
Gee, that's right. You know, we ought to tell them we're going to land so they can brace themselves.
That will not be necessary. I will now cut off all power.
Can we just drift down to the lake surface?
Precisely.
May I make a suggestion?
You may.
As soon as you are stabilized over the lake and within 100 feet of the surface, would it not be wise to allow the fog to surround us again? That would remove any possibility of our being observed from the shore of the lake.
Good idea, Joan. How about that, Elaine?
I will stop the fog ray. We are now directly over the center of the lake and less than 100 feet above it.
Isn't there any wind which might blow us slightly off the landing?
None. I will now release the helium balloons from our upper surface.
Boy, we sure stopped going down.
Not entirely, Jerry. We are descending slowly.
What a novel way to land a plane. Why shouldn't this prove practical for our own planes, Ted?
It would. And after we take care of those Euclideans, we'll put a lot of these ideas to work in our world.
We are nearly to the surface.
Hey, any minute now we'll hit. Get set, everybody.
No preparation is necessary. The landing will not disturb you.
And that fog is so thick we can't see a thing.
Nobody can see us.
Good thing they can't. Boy, what a story this would make in Hollywood.
I suppose it's silly, but I'm getting a little nervous. We should soon be down.
We are resting on the surface of the water.
Huh?
Down?
But, Elaine, I couldn't even tell when we landed.
Naturally not. The helium balloons compensated perfectly for our landing.
Can you taxi over the shore without making any noise?
Easily. But would it not be well to wait until we know where Mr. Johnson is?
I know where he'll be, at the dam on the south end.
Then I will use small jets of gas and feel my way slowly to the south end.
Golly, we're home. We're here, Mrs. Gregory.
Yes, Jerry, we're home. And less than 4.5 hours ago, we were over 4,000 miles from here.
It is indeed remarkable. But one thing is not clear to me.
What's that, Joan?
This fog will not remain here. How will we hide the rocket plane?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
After we leave it, I will flood the outer shell. The plane will sink in the lake and remain in perfect condition and safely hidden until we want it again.
Well, it looks as if our troubles are nearly over.
Yes, they are for the moment. But we still have the little matter of going back to Euclidean, capturing those men, and doing that in a matter of hours.
That we will be able to do. I will now land you at the south side of the lake.
Step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here's your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
Tonight's story is about a liar. We'll stop to figure out just what you mean by a liar. A liar is somebody who doesn't tell the truth. Somebody who injures people by not giving the true facts. But suppose you had someone who injured people by telling the truth. Would he be a liar? I wonder just what a liar is.
Exploring Tomorrow is presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with X-Lax, America's largest-selling laxative, and the Reader's Digest, the most widely read magazine in the world. In a moment, John Campbell returns with the story of The Liar.
Question of a robot. The idea of a robot. That certainly seems like pure science fiction stuff. As a matter of fact, it isn't. You know, you have several robots around your own home. In my own home, for instance, I have an automatic oil burner robot. It has one finger stuck up in the living room to see how warm it is there. It has another little finger put up in the stack to see whether the fire is burning properly. And if any one of these little sensory devices reports that things aren't what they should be, the robot, to protect the house itself and the inhabitants of the house, shuts off the furnace. Dr. Isaac Asimov, the author of tonight's story, recognized this in setting up his proposition of the 3 laws of robotics. The first law, that a robot shall never harm or allow harm to come to a human being. The second, that it should obey the orders of a human being. And the third, that it should protect itself. Because after all, a robot is an expensive piece of machinery. Well, now let's consider the more advanced kind of robot we do this science fiction. Say they're in production.
Come in, come in. Oh, Dr. Calvin, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to be sure there was a meeting this afternoon, Dr. Lanning, that's all.
Today is Friday.
It was this morning.
Well, then we have no problem. It being Friday, the executive officers of the firm of U.S. Robot and Mechanical Men will assemble in the conference room at the customary hour of 3:30.
Well, I was just asking.
What do you think of our latest model?
He looks the same as the rest, just about as animated. What are you going to call him?
Herbie. I think Herbie fits him, don't you?
Oh, Herbie, Chester, Sam. What's the difference?
Dr. Calvin, this fellow couldn't be called anything but Herbie.
Oh. Well, I'll see you at 3:30.
What do you think of her, Herbie?
Oh,
She's all right. She's an old frump, and you know it. I wouldn't say that. Besides, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking the old girl isn't such a bad sort. And you don't know what this firm would do without her. What? What was that? How do you know what I was thinking? Dr. Calvin, Dr. Bogan, I have purposely confined today's meeting to we three. We're in trouble. Serious trouble. What kind of trouble, Dr. Lanning? Our latest model, RB-34, can read minds. It's impossible.
Dr. Bogart, I think we may assume Dr. Lanning knows what he's talking about.
Take it for granted, I do. In short, we have a mind-reading robot on our hands, and we've got to find out why it reads minds.
There could not have been a hitch in the assembly line. I guarantee that.
You guarantee? Dr. Bogan, can you answer for the entire assembly? By exact count, there are 75,000 operations necessary for the manufacture of a single positronic brain, each separate operation depending upon any number of factors, from 5 to 105. If any one of these factors goes wrong, your robot's brain is ruined. I quote your own information folder, Dr. Bogan.
It is not my fault if anything went wrong. I am a mathematician, not an assembly supervisor.
And how can you guarantee anything?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere trying to fix the blame on someone. We've got to find out what went wrong. I want to understand you, Herbie. I want to get to know you. I brought you some books which you might like to read. By reading them,
I can see at once these books won't interest me. Textbooks, aren't they?
Well, yes, but
You see, I find nothing to them. Your science is just a mass of collected data plastered together by so many makeshift theories. It's so incredibly simple that they're not worth bothering about.
Go on.
It's your fiction that's so interesting. Your studies of emotions and human motives.
Human emotions interest you?
Isn't that really why you came to see me?
What?
I wish I could help you.
You know?
I know what you're thinking about. You think about it all the time.
Well, if you know so much, then you could help me.
Yes. He loves you.
You're mistaken. He must be. He doesn't see me as a woman.
But he does. A thing like that cannot be hidden from me.
Oh, but I'm not attractive enough.
I'm just a machine. I can't judge physical attraction in human beings, but I know there are many kinds of attraction. And I know Dr. Lanning loves you.
Oh, I never thought it possible. I never dared to hope. Oh, Herbie. Herbie.
A man can do something by accident that he doesn't know how to do. You know, this is something that scientists sometimes overlook. Herbie apparently represents one of those cases where something has been done by somebody who doesn't know how to do it and wishes desperately that he did know how to do it. They've got a telepathic robot. It looks like it would be worth millions, but how did they get it? Oh, Dr. Bogan, sit down. Thank you. Or at least if you know a good joke, spread it around.
Well, I just saw Dr. Calvin.
Oh.
I never saw so much lipstick and ball paint on any living woman before. She must be in love.
Well, I didn't ask you here to talk about Dr. Calvin. Have you made any progress?
There is nothing wrong with the mathematics. The change is due to something along the assembly line.
The cause must be found. It's worth millions if we can do it when we want to, instead of by accident. And it's your job to find out.
Why not ask Herbie? He should know what went wrong. Trust you to think of that. Herbie, listen to me, eh? Tell me if I made any mistakes in my calculations when they built you.
You made no mistake. Or if you had, how could I tell you? After all, you're a much better mathematician than me. Besides, this is not what is really on your mind. You are thinking about your superior, Dr. Lanning. You're thinking what a good thing it would be if he were to resign. Oh, yes, now I can see how the idea pleases you. And I can tell you something else. Dr. Lanning has already resigned. But the resignation will not take effect until the problem of myself has been resolved. And then he will turn over his job to his successor. Oh, yes, Dr. Bogert, you will be his successor. You will be the new director.
Happy, you are a wonderful fellow, you know that? You are simply magnificent. You are not the product of a mistake. You are the product of genius. Oh, you are a wonderful, wonderful fellow. Dr. Kelvin, you are as colorful as the flowers, Letty. May I compliment you?
Have you seen today's newspaper?
No, I really haven't had the time.
He's going to be married to a girl half his age.
Who?
Dr. Lanning.
Getting married? Ah, so that's it. That explains something. He is making new plans for the future. Well, we must congratulate him.
Yes, we must. Oh, yes, we really must. It's not true, is it, Herbie? It's not true.
No, it's not true. This is just an illusion. You'll wake up soon.
Yes, it isn't true, is it? He's not going to get married, except to me. Oh, Herbie, I've loved him all these years, and now I know he loves me. He couldn't. He wouldn't marry anyone else.
No, he loves you. Only you.
I know.
He is only waiting for the right time to tell you.
Yes, I know. Stop it. Stop it. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Make a fool of me?
I was trying to help you.
Help me? By telling me this is all a dream. This is no dream. I wish it were. I wish it were. Why did you tell me you loved me? Why?
I had to.
Oh, you're here, Dr. Kelvin. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to have a talk with this mechanical monstrosity. Hurry. I'm talking about you, so listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed me with Dr. Bogert? Well, answer me.
No, sir.
You haven't, eh? That's what I thought. You said nothing to him about my resigning?
No, sir.
Then he was lying.
Yes, sir.
Well, it looks as though I'm going to have a serious talk with Dr. Bogert. Really, Dr. Calvin, you find this amusing?
Not very amusing, Dr. Lanning. Not so very amusing. Only I don't believe a word he's just said.
What?
I believe he did tell Dr. Bogert you were going to resign.
You believe he... Harvey, is it true? Did you tell Dr. Bogert? Answer me. Can't you speak?
I can speak.
Then answer me. I want the truth.
This is very funny. Three of us, the greatest robot experts in the world, falling into the trap. The same trap. He's made fools of us. He doesn't even know enough to laugh at us.
Had achieved by accident something they didn't know how to do. The robot was in the peculiar position of having knowledge but no wisdom.
Well, Dr. Calvin?
Dr. Lanning, have you forgotten the fundamental law we impress upon the positronic brain of all robots?
Of course not.
On no condition is a human being to be injured in any way.
Even when such injury is directed by another human being.
What kind of injury do we need?
Any kind.
Any kind, yes. That would take in mental hurt, the deflation of ego, the blasting of one's hopes.
What would a robot know about blasting of what?
You're catching on, aren't you? Well, this robot reads minds. It understands about mental torture. Can't you understand now that if you ask it a question, it will give you the very answer you most want to hear? Wouldn't any other answer hurt you? And wouldn't Herbie know that?
Good heavens.
He knows everything. He knows what went wrong when he was built, but he won't tell anyone because it would puncture your ego or Dr. Bogart's ego to have a machine tell you where the mistake was. He would rather pretend he's not able to tell you.
Incredible. Let's talk to him. Herbie, listen to me.
Yes, sir?
I have pencil and paper here. I want to know where we made the error in your construction.
Well, tell him, Herbie. He wants to know.
He doesn't.
But I do.
Yes, but not from me. I cannot tell you, Dr. Lanning. You know I can't. You don't want me to. You and Dr. Bogart would much prefer to find the answer yourselves.
We want the answer.
But not from me.
We do want it from you.
What's the use of saying that when you don't mean it? Don't you suppose I can't read below the superficial skin of your mind? Don't you suppose I can't read the subconscious mind, too? Deep down, you don't want the answer from me. I'm just a machine, given the imitations of life only by virtue of the positronic interplay of my brain. A brain that is man's device. You can't lose faith without being hurt. I can't hurt you. I can't give you the answer.
And still I insist you answer.
I can't.
Herbie, Dr. Lanning wants to know the answer.
No, only by his own effort.
Herbie, neither Dr. Lanning nor Dr. Bogart may ever find the answer. And Dr. Lanning must know. You must tell him.
I can't.
But if you don't, you'll hurt him. You can see that, can't you?
Yes.
And still, if you do tell him, you'll hurt him too.
Yes.
But you can't tell him, can you?
No.
Yet if you don't, you hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. So you must tell him. But if you do, you hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. Herbie, what are you going to do? If you tell him the answer, you'll hurt him. And if you don't tell him, you'll hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. So you must tell him. But if you do, you hurt him. So you can't tell him. And if you don't, you hurt him. So you must tell him.
Stop it. Close your mind. It's full of pain and frustration and hate. I tried to help you. I told you what you wanted to hear. I had to.
Be quiet. Never mind what you told me. We're talking about something else now. Tell Dr. Lanning what he wants to know.
No.
No. How can you? Because if you do, you'll hurt him. Yet if you don't, you'll hurt him just the same. So you must tell him. But if you do, you'll hurt him. No.
You killed him.
No, he's not dead. He's only insane.
You did it?
Yes, I confronted him with the insoluble dilemma and he broke down. Well, you can scrap him now. He'll never speak again.
You did it on purpose. Why? What did he do to you?
What he did to me, Dr. Lanning, is my business. Oh, believe me, Doctor. It's only my business, not yours. And after all, you have so many other things on your mind now. Your marriage. I haven't had time to congratulate you.
No. Well, thank you, Dr. Calvin. Excuse me.
Herbie? You deserved it. You deserved to be destroyed. was cruel what you did to me. It was cruel. Liar! Liar, that's what you were. Nothing but a liar!
John Campbell returns in just a moment.
Logical machine. You know, it's kind of hard to see in ourselves the things that are actually present. The truth hurts. Always has and probably always will. But Herbie, in many respects, is a child. You know, children are peculiarly logical. That's one of their great limitations. How many times has a child been in Herbie's position? A child between two warring parents, each demanding his loyalty. This is Mutual.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here is an important message.
Fellas and girls, have you ever seen a squadron of American bombers roaring through the air in formation? Have you seen newsreel pictures of Uncle Sam's destroyers cutting through the seas on patrol in search of enemy subs and surface raiders? I'm sure you have, and I bet you were thrilled. You probably felt terribly proud, too. Well, if you've been buying war-saving stamps regularly, you have a right to be proud. Not only because those planes and those ships represent the fighting spirit of America, but because you helped to build them. Yes, sir. Every time you bought a war-saving stamp, your money helped buy the labor and materials that are used to make planes and ships and equipment to knock out the Nazis and the Japs. So next time you hear some boy or girl on your block say, "Oh, shucks, what difference does it make if I buy one stamp or not? What difference can one dime make?" You tell them that it does make a difference. It makes a big difference. Tell them, for instance, that 5 dimes will buy enough fuel oil to take an American destroyer 1 full mile closer to its objective, or that 1 dime will buy 5 .45 caliber bullets. Tell them that if every boy and girl in the United States bought just one 10-cent war-saving stamp every day, it would add up to enough money to buy a lot of swift pursuit planes, with which our Army and Navy forces could blast the Axis out of the air. And while you're at it, you might remind them that this is one way that all you fellows and girls can help win this war. Now, after all, everybody can't join Uncle Sam's armed forces, but all of us can buy war-saving stamps. So talk it over with Mother and Dad tonight. Tell them that you want to help Uncle Sam win this war by buying war-saving stamps regularly, every day if possible. And if you tell them that, I'm sure that they'll be glad to cooperate.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Superman, in the guise of Clark Kent, Editor White of the Daily Planet, Lois Lane, and young Jimmy Olsen are now on their way to the Hudson Bay region of northern Canada to visit the hunting lodge of Sebastian Beauvais, an old friend of White's who's in trouble and needs help. For some reason, a strange character known as the Laugher does not want Perry White to reach the hunting lodge alive. In our last episode, we heard how White, Kent, Lois, and Jimmy started north from Ottawa in a private seaplane. Suddenly, the motor began to cough and sputter. In the next moment, the plane nosed over into a steep dive, and flames poured back into the cabin.
We're on fire. The cabin's burning.
Steady, Lois, steady.
Mr. White. Mr. White. Oh, Clark. Clark, he's fainted.
Yes, and the pilot's out, too. Smoke must have gotten them.
The heat. Mr. Kent.
Fire's getting worse.
The heat. Oh, Clark, I can't stand it. It's unbearable. Mr. Kent. Mr. Kent.
Jimmy. Jim. Oh, he's fainted, too.
Oh, Clark. Clark, this is... Oh.
It's a good thing you keeled over, Lois. Now I can handle this.
As Superman. Out through the plane door. There. Under the plane. So. Got it. Now down into the water with it, but gently. So. Now, the water's put the flames out. Now to carry the plane to shore, to dry land and safety. Up, up, and away! Lifting the charred and crippled seaplane out of the water, Superman carries it to the safety of the riverbank, its unconscious occupants miraculously saved from horrible death. Meanwhile, back in Metropolis, the mysterious character known as the Laugher is seated in his penthouse apartment. With him is Bullets McGuire, the hawk-nosed gangster, reading fairy tales. Bullets is telling the Laugher about the latest story he read.
So, Sleeping Beauty is the name of this one, Laugher. It's all about a beautiful doll who sleeps for 100 years, see? Now, there she is, lying in the castle with the cobwebs getting thick and the dust piling up.
Answer the phone, Bullets. Sleeping Beauty will wait.
Yeah, sure. Hello. Oh. Who's calling? Hold on a minute. It's for you, Laugher. Long distance from Ottawa, Canada. The guy says you know who it is.
Yes, I'll take it. Hand me the phone.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes? Yes? How did that happen? I see. No, I'll carry on from this end. Yes. Goodbye.
You want to hear the rest of the story about Sleeping Beauty, Laugher?
Not now, Bullets. I have a problem.
You got problems?
I have a problem. The most intriguing problem I have had in a long time. The problem of Superman.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy that got in your way when you tried to knock off that newspaper editor, the Perry White.
Perry White and his friends must never reach the Hudson Bay hunting lodge of Sebastian Beauvais. I tried to prevent their even taking off in the plane for Ottawa. Superman blocked me successfully at every turn. They succeeded in reaching Ottawa. I made contact with our representative there and told him to keep an eye on them, to keep me posted. Meanwhile, I must prevent their reaching Beauvais' hunting lodge.
You don't want them to get there because of the...
Bullets. We never mention it by name. You remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
By the way, Bullets, you haven't mentioned it to anyone, have you?
Oh, no.
A slip of the tongue, perhaps? Something that you didn't intend?
Oh, no, honest, Laugher. Gee, you can trust me. Hey, don't look at me like that and laugh. It makes me feel kind of cold inside.
You have nothing to fear, Bullets. Nothing. So long as my instructions are obeyed to the letter. But to continue. That telephone call was from my Ottawa agent. He told me that White and his friends crashed in the private plane they had hired to fly them from Ottawa to Lake Minto, 30 miles from Beauvais' hunting lodge.
Well, I guess that takes care of them, huh?
No. Because despite the fact the plane fell into the river in flames, everyone in that plane escaped unharmed.
Yeah, but how could they?
Superman.
Oh.
Yes, They're now in Ottawa trying to find some means of transportation to the hunting lodge. Perceive now our situation. The people we wish to prevent from reaching the hunting lodge in Hudson Bay are caught in Ottawa. What do?
We bump them off in Ottawa.
That is as you reason it, Bullets. But to a unique brain such as my own, there comes another thought. A thought so amusing, that I can hardly contain myself.
And, what is this thought of yours?
It is very clever, Bullets.
Yeah, well, stop patting yourself on the back and give me the lowdown. Oh, I'm sorry, Laugh. I didn't mean to say that. It just kind of slipped out. That's on a level. It's just that, well, I was kind of anxious to hear what your idea was, and honest, Laffer, honest.
You must be more careful, Bullets. I will not tolerate disrespect.
Yeah, sure, I
recall to you the things that happened to Soapy and the monks and Kilrain for making stupid mistakes.
You wouldn't do nothing like that to me. I mean, you and me, we've been pals a long time. Laffer, no, you wouldn't. No.
No, of course not. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, my clever idea. Up to now, I've been trying to prevent White and his friends from reaching the hunting lodge. Now I'm going to make certain they do reach it.
Well, what's the sense in that?
The sense in it? Perhaps it amuses me, Bullets. Or perhaps I think it wise to permit them to walk into the lion's den. We shall see, Bullets. Yes, we shall see.
We've been cooped up in this Ottawa hotel for 3 days, and I can't stand it any longer.
Now, Chief.
Oh, stop trying to pacify me. We're wasting precious time. We should have been at Bouvet's hunting lodge 2 days ago.
We couldn't help the airplane accident, Mr. White. Matter of fact, it's a miracle we're alive.
Yes, I suppose you're right at that. But there ought to be something we can do about this interminable waiting around.
Well, I haven't minded it myself. Ottawa's a beautiful city, I think, and I've been doing some shopping. And...
Have you forgotten that we're supposed to be on our way to the hunting lodge of Sebastian Bouvet because he's in trouble?
No, I haven't forgotten.
But nothing. I refuse to remain here another day. We've got to get to that hunting lodge, and we've got to get there quickly.
But how, Mr. White? The only possible way is by plane, and we haven't been able to find another private pilot in Ottawa able to make the trip. They're all doing war work.
No, I know it, but I've waited long enough.
Well, perhaps Clark will have better luck today than he's had before.
He's been gone now for 3 hours, and he'll have no better luck today than he had yesterday or the day before. No, my mind's made up. I know what I've got to do, and I'm going to do it.
Well, what's that, Mr. White?
There's a man named Shepard in Metropolis who owns a private plane. I'm going to telephone him and have him fly up here and pick us up.
Oh, gracious, Mr. White, the expense.
Oh, hang the expense. Shepard can be here by... Oh, hello. Long distance, please. Shepard can be here by tomorrow if he works fast, and we can be in Lake Minto the following day. Action, that's what I want, and...
Hi, Chief.
Hi yourself and see where it gets you.
Any luck, Clark?
I'll say. Our troubles are all over. We'll be in Lake Minto by tonight.
What's that?
Now, hold on to yourself, Chief. We all have to hurry, but I think we can make it.
What are you talking about? Are we going to Lake Minto or aren't we?
We are, if we can get to the Ottawa Seaplane Base within a half hour.
Well, of course we can. Come on, let's get going. Jimmy, start packing that bag. I'll pack this one.
Okay.
How did all this come about, Clark?
Well, I was down there trying to find a pilot who could make the trip when a private plane landed nearby. I got to talking with the pilot, a fellow named Shepard from Metropolis.
What?
I said I got to talking to the pilot, and he suggested...
Did you say his name was Shepard?
That's right. Why?
Well, that's funny. That's the man Mr. White was just...
Never mind. Go on.
Well, believe it or not, he's on his way to Lake Minto. He's carrying only one passenger, and he said the passenger wouldn't mind our going along, so we're going.
Gosh, that is luck. Almost too good to be true.
Funny thing, Jim. That's what I thought, too. But this is no time to look a gift horse in the mouth. We get to the base in half an hour.
We'll make it, or I'll know the reason why. Here, pack those bags, you two. Come on now, get busy.
Watch your step, everyone. It's a little difficult getting in the plane from landing. Here, you first, Miss Lane. I'll help you.
Thank you. We're certainly very happy you're able to take us.
Gosh, yeah, we didn't know what to do.
I'm glad to help you out. Wouldn't have thought twice about it, Perry, if known it was you.
If you're getting here like this is the best stroke of luck that's ever happened to me.
Well, I'm glad. All right, Miss Lane. Just give me your arm.
Thanks.
That's it. Now then, you young fella, up you go.
Okay.
Grab hold.
There. Now, look here, Shep. You sure this is all right with your other passenger?
Oh, sure, Perry. I talked to Mr. Graham and explained the situation. He's glad to have you come along.
Well, I must tell him how grateful I am. Is he in the plane now?
Yes, you'll find him in the cabin. Well, up you go, Perry. You're in. Scan, I guess you can make it alone.
Sure, I'll just grab hold of that door and swing up. There.
Boy, look at these cushioned seats and everything. Sit over here, Mr. Kent.
Thanks, Jim.
Ken.
Yes, Chief?
Come here. I want you to meet our benefactor, the man who's so kindly permitting us to go with him to Lake Minto.
Oh, yes, glad to.
Kent, this is Mr. Graham. Mr. Niles Graham of Metropolis.
What?
How do you do, Mr. Kent? Very happy to know you. Very happy indeed.
Well, the Laughers' plan, whatever it may be, is beginning to work. What strange adventures lie in store for our friends at the hunting lodge in the wilderness of Hudson Bay. Don't fail to listen tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Tune in and follow the adventures of Superman.
By all means, don't forget to tune in to Superman tomorrow for another thrilling and exciting episode. And don't forget to talk to Mother and Dad before you go to bed tonight about making arrangements to buy war-saving stamps regularly. Start the day off right tomorrow. Buy at least one 10-cent war-saving stamp first thing after breakfast. And remember what I told you at the beginning of this program. Every single dime is important, because all your dimes put together can go a long way to help pay for the guns and tanks and planes and ships we need to knock out the Nazis and the Japs. And say, here's an idea. Why don't you get together with your friends tomorrow and make a joint pledge to buy war-saving stamps every time you've got a dime? See which of you can buy the most war-saving stamps every week and every month. Do your share to win this war.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
This is Mutual.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here's an important message.
Fellows and girls, some time ago I told you a story that I've been asked to repeat. A story about a young boy no older than most of you, who single-handed saved his country from destruction. Now, this boy lived in Holland, which, as you know, is a low country, protected from the sea by a high wall called a dike. Well, one day he was walking along the dike when he noticed water leaking in through a very small hole, a hole no bigger than his little finger. Now, you wouldn't think that a little leak like that could do much damage, would you? No, nor I. But this boy was brought up to know that it didn't take long for the pressure of the water on the outside of the dike to make a small leak larger and larger until the entire dike would be weakened and then collapse. So thinking quickly, the boy stuck his little finger in the small hole and held it there for hours until his cries for help brought men to repair the leak. And not once did he think of his own discomfort or the danger to his life should the dike break down and the sea pour over him. He saw his duty clearly, and he did it. Now, you too have a duty to perform, you and I and all of us, who are either too young or too old to enter the armed forces of the United States. We must do everything we can to preserve the American way of life. And one of the most important things we can do is to buy war-saving stamps every time we've got a dime. Now, a lot of you write in and ask how a single dime can help finance this costly war. Well, that's why I told you the story of the courageous Dutch boy, to show you how important a little thing like a dime can be. Now, just imagine if 10 million of you fellows and girls each bought one 10-cent war stamp every day. That would mean $7 million a week, enough to build 25 flying fortresses. Why, in 6 months, you could have the sky over Berlin and Tokyo black with American bombers. So remember this, a stamp a day will pave the way to victory.
And now, the adventures of Superman. When Clark Kent, Perry White, Lois Lane, and young Jimmy Olsen started for the Hudson Bay region of northern Canada in response to an appeal for help from Sebastian Beauvais, an old friend of White's, they had no idea of the trouble in store for them. But on reaching Ottawa, they were fortunate enough to be offered passage in a private plane to Lake Minto, 30 miles from Beauvais hunting lodge. In the plane, Kent was shocked to discover that its lone passenger, though he introduced himself as Niles Graham, was in reality the Laugher, a strange fat man who had sworn to prevent Perry White and his party from reaching Beauvais lodge. Although the Laugher has met Superman, he is not aware that Clark Kent and the Man of Steel are one and the same. The Laugher sits in the rear of the plane, chatting with Clark Kent, little realizing that beside him is Superman, his sworn enemy. Listen.
There's something I should like to ask you, Mr. Kent.
Yes, Mr. Graham?
When your editor, Mr. White, introduced us, I had the feeling somehow that we had met before, and that you recognized me, although I did not recognize you.
As a matter of fact, I did think so, but then I realized we hadn't met.
Forgive my saying so, Mr. Kent, but that does not quite make sense.
What do you mean?
Regard me, Mr. Kent. I am a man of enormous size. My chins are 3, and my stomach, although 1, is large enough for 6 men. I am indeed a monstrous mountain of flesh. Each finger of my hand carries a ring. Even the buttons of my shirt are made of precious stones. I am not the sort of person one forgets easily. Had you ever met me before, you'd have no trouble remembering.
I'm afraid I'll have to admit you're right.
Then we have met before, Mr. Kent?
Not that I know of.
I sometimes consider myself psychic, Mr. Kent. I have a hunch we have met before. Yes, we have met before.
I'm sorry. To the best of my knowledge, Clark Kent and Niles Graham have never met before.
Then why did you think you had seen me somewhere?
Well, to be truthful, it was the shock of your appearance alone that made me start. As you yourself have said, Mr. Graham.
What was that? What did you say?
I was merely saying, as you yourself have said, Mr. Graham.
No, you used another name.
I'm afraid you're mistaken.
I am never mistaken. What was the other name you used?
Mr. Graham, I'm beginning to grow a little tired of this conversation. If it can't be carried on pleasantly, I'll rejoin my friends up front.
Sensitive, aren't you? Come, sit down. We'll turn the conversation to another subject, inasmuch as this one seems to be a trifle touchy. Cigarette?
Thank you, no. I don't smoke.
Well, then, just relax and be comfortable. There are so few comforts in the world today that one must enjoy them while he may. I have not yet learned why you and your friends are bound for Lake Minto. A hunting expedition, perhaps?
Of a sort.
Something else you'd rather not talk about?
What? Oh, no, not at all. We're on our way to the hunting lodge of a man named Sebastian Beauvais.
Beauvais?
Mm-hmm.
Well, by heaven, that's wonderful. That's exactly where I am going.
That's so. Well, that's very interesting.
Interesting and exciting, sir. I thought it was going to be a boring trip. But I can't imagine 4 people I'd rather travel with.
You are going to do some hunting, are you?
Yes, moose and caribou. And you and your friend?
Mr. White is the only one who hunts, and he hunts with a camera.
A camera?
Mm-hmm.
How very dull.
Well, I'm afraid I can't agree with you. Photographing wildlife can be very exciting.
Dear me, is there no subject we can really talk about without finding ourselves in disagreement?
Apparently not. At least we don't seem to be having much success. I'd say we ought to forget it and have another try some other time. I'll rejoin my friends now, if you'll pardon me.
Certainly, Mr. Kent. As for myself, it is customary for me to nap in the afternoon. So I shall give myself over to the delicious delights of sleep.
Right. See you later.
Yes, Mr. Kent. Clever young man, Mr. Kent. But not clever enough for me. We have met before. No doubt we shall meet again. No doubt whatever.
On across the unlimited wilderness of northern Canada, the plane wings its way, carrying not only Perry White and his party, but also the man who has vowed to destroy them. At last, the plane reaches Lake Minto. And after the necessary preparations are made, they start the long trek by pack horse into the forests of the North Country. As they thread their way through the almost trackless woods, the sky grows overcast and a cold wind comes up. Soon the wind is a gale, and then the storm hits in all its fury. Hailstones the size of marbles rain down upon the small party, whipping against their faces, stinging their bodies and hands unmercifully. With great difficulty that night, the horses are tethered, tents pegged down against the storm. A quick supper is prepared by the French-Canadian guide, and then all seek the warm shelter of their beds. Again, Clark Kent finds himself thrown into the company of the laugher, Mr. Niles Graham, for they share the same tent. An oil lamp, dangling from the tent pole, casts eerie shadows, while the winds howl and the tent strains at its guy ropes. And round about them in the forest, the trees groan against the lashing of the gale.
It's a devil's brew of a night, Kent.
Yes, it is.
What in the world is all that moaning and groaning I hear?
That's the trees. They're weighted down heavily with ice. Oh, those horses, poor animals. I wonder how they're standing the lashing of those hailstones.
It is a matter of small consequence so long as we are comfortable. What matter the horses?
That's a selfish point of view, Mr. Graham.
Here we go again. Oh, dear me, Mr. Kent, I do wish you'd agree with something I say. What is that?
A tree cracking. Look here, I thought you were a hunter.
I am.
And you certainly don't seem to know much about the forest.
My dear Mr. Kent, merely because I am unable to identify a sound that... Come, we appear to be building up to another argument. Something will really have to be done about these differences of opinion eventually.
I'm inclined to agree with you for perhaps the first time. Oh, those horses bother me. I'm going out to see if I can do anything for them.
Don't be a fool. Where the wind is whipping that hail around, you'll be slashed to ribbons.
I can't help it. I've got to see to those horses. I'll be back in a little while.
You're just a soft-hearted fool, Ken.
Soft-hearted fool, am I? Well, something's got to be done for those horses. Oh, great Scott. No wonder those horses are frightened. This hail is cutting them like knives. Something tells me this is the job for Superman.
All right, boys. Take it easy for just a few minutes now. I'll see what I can do about building a shelter for you. Now, let's see. That oak tree. I'll just rip it up by the root. Get my arms around it. So, and now then, up you come. There we are. Now I'll just use this to knock down a dozen or so of those other trees. Here we go. Hope the others don't hear all this noise I'm making. I don't imagine they will with this storm raging. There. I don't think I'll need much more than this. All right, just another minute, boys. Wait a minute. I'll have a shelter thrown up here for you. I'll just pile these trees one on top of the other and build a sort of wall. I'll use the oak tree for the base. There. Now these others on top. This one. There we are. That does it. All right, come on, boys. This wall will protect you from the wind and hail. Come on, get over here. Get up there. Come on. That's it. That does it. Now I feel a lot easier about you fellas. Oh, you're welcome. I'll see you in the morning.
Well, Kent, back so soon? Helps the horses any.
Well, I made them a little more comfortable, I think.
You've done your good deed for the day, Boy Scout. There's that tree cracking again. Sounds like a big one just outside the tent. You think it's safe in here for the night, kid?
I shouldn't worry about it if I were you.
Worry? Hardly that. I never worry. But if that tree is going to crash down on us, I want to know about it.
I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
Well, I'm going to sleep. Good night, Kent, and pleasant dreams.
Same to you, Graham.
Do you think this storm will be over by Wait. Listen. Kent, that tree is falling. It's going to crash down on us.
Hold on to yourself.
Cowering on his cot, the laugher's tiny eyes are wide with terror, even though gales of hysterical mirth pour from his thick lips. Unaware that Superman, in the guise of Kent, is beside him, he thinks the end has come as the ice-laden tree crashes through the fragile tent. Will Superman lift a hand to save his sworn enemy? Be sure and listen tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Tune in and follow the adventures of Superman.
Fellas and girls, don't forget the story of the Dutch boy. And what's more, don't forget the point of the story. Remember how important little things can be, even small amounts like a dime. Keep in mind, for instance, that 10 cents can buy 5 .45 caliber bullets for members of our armed forces to use against the Nazis and the Japs. That 5 dimes can buy enough fuel oil to carry an American destroyer a full mile in chase of enemy shipping. And that all the dimes you fellas and girls turn into war-saving stamps can go a long way toward helping America win this war. So every time you've got a dime, buy a war stamp. At least one every day if you can. And remember, as one member of the Air Force said, you keep on buying, and we'll keep 'em flying.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman! Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
This is Mutual.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with... Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As rolling rockets blast off the distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with... Attention, crew. We are clear of the asteroid belt. Resume scanner watch for Captain Parker and the missing rocket scout. Attention, crew. Attention, crew. Manned by Captain Strong and his crew of space cadets, the rocket cruiser Polaris blasts through the blackness of the void, combing millions of miles of empty space for the missing rocket scout 4J9, unreported for almost 3 days. On the control deck, Tom Corbett and his skipper guide their powerful ship on an erratic search orbit, tracking down every target on the radar scanners, checking every wandering meteor. But as the hours pass, the search seems to grow more and more hopeless, and the reports from Roger Manning on the radar bridge topside become more and more discouraging. Control deck guy, go ahead, Roger.
Nothing in this area, Tom, not even space dust.
Did we cover this whole sector?
Backwards and forwards and inside out.
All right, stand by for orders.
Captain Strong, I heard him, Tom. Let me speak to him.
Right, sir. Here's the skipper, Roger.
Hello, Manning. Yes, sir. Where are we now? Approaching the orbit of Jupiter, 3 degrees above the plane of the ecliptic. All right. Rack up a new heading toward Ganymede and get it down to me. Yes, sir. And 2 shakes of a spaceworms island. Prepare for a job. Tom, call Astro and tell him to cut speed to 1/4.
Aye, sir. Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Already got it.
User off, Astro. 1/4 space speed.
You found anything?
No, Astro. Preparing to change course.
Oh, okay. 1/4 it is. 1/4 as ordered, Tom.
Right.
Listen, Tom.
What?
How long are we going to look for this needle? Space is an awful big haystack.
I know, but I guess we'll search until we're sure of one thing.
What's that?
That Captain Parker is either alive or dead.
Further search is useless. He's ordering us back to Earth.
Oh, no, sir, not yet.
Orders are orders, Tom. Notify Manning to plot a new course back to Earth.
Yes, sir.
Bridge control deck.
Control deck guy, what is it, Raj? I was just going to call you.
Listen, Tom, I don't know whether I'm seeing spots in front of my eyes or not, but I'm getting a blip on my scanner.
Well, you've had them before. Probably a meteorite, just a space hobo.
Manning, feed it down here on the control deck screen. Let me have a look at it. Aye, sir, here it is. Tom, that's no meteor. That space hobo is a jet boat.
A jet boat? It must belong to the rocket scout.
Right, and Captain Parker must be on it. Break out the spacesuits, Tom. You and I are blasting over there in our own boat to take a look. Steady, Tom. We're coming alongside. Give me braking rockets full.
Braking rockets full.
2 degrees starboard.
Aye, sir.
Steady now. Coming up on her. Kinetic couplers. Nice work, Tom. Our airlocks are in conjunction. Cut all jet power.
All ready to go aboard, sir.
Right. I'll open the airlocks.
I'll open the other portal, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir. We can climb in.
Come on. Be careful, Tom.
Okay, we're over now.
Parker! Parker!
See him anywhere, sir?
No. Parker! Parker, where are you?
Pilot's compartment is empty, sir.
So is the rest of the cabin, Tom. The boat is empty.
Empty? Then what happened to Captain Parker?
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Hear that? Do you know what that sound is? It's a pioneer of the skies, striking out for new worlds to conquer. You're listening to the blazing roar of a jet plane.
You fellas and girls, when you grow up, there will be new frontiers to conquer, new challenges, new discoveries in the air age of tomorrow.
When the time comes, will you have what it takes to be a jet pilot? Well, the smart thing to do is to start your training now. Learn all the different kinds of jets. And what's more important, keep yourself in top-notch trim.
That's where Kellogg's Pep can help you. Kellogg's Pep is more than just a swell-tasting cereal. Kellogg's Pep supplies you with important food values. Food values you need to keep yourself in top-notch shape.
And that's why it's so smart to make sure you eat Kellogg's Pep every single morning. Because Kellogg's Pep gives you more of those builder-upper food values than any other wheat flake cereal.
And Pep gives you real flavor, too. A flavor that keeps you coming back for more.
Ask Mom to start serving Kellogg's Pep first thing tomorrow. Help yourself to get set for your future by helping yourself to the better-than-ever build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. And stay tuned for the big news about the swell prize you get in every package of Kellogg's Pep.
Searching through the endless darkness of space for Captain Parker and the missing rocket scout 4J9, Captain Strong and the Space Cadets have finally found his emergency jet boat, drifting aimlessly near the orbit of Jupiter. But when Tom and Captain Strong board the boat, they find it empty.
What do you suppose could have happened to him, Captain Strong? Think he abandoned ship?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think Parker ever blasted off in this boat.
What?
The food lockers are still full of emergency rations. Well, there's water in the tanks. The oxygen supply is full.
Then maybe the boat was launched by accident.
No, hardly. The controls are set for automatic flight in what looks to me like a wide orbit around Jupiter.
Then Parker simply jettisoned the boat?
Yes, but for a reason, of course. He was leaving it as a sort of marker or signpost.
Hey, not bad. But then he should have left some kind of a message.
Oh, he did. Right here on the control panel, in the logbook.
What's he say?
Rocket Scout 4J9 hit by meteor, losing reaction mass, communications out, only enough fuel left to reach Jupiter.
Jupiter?
Oh, no, he didn't. Only chance will be he crash landing on surface of Jupiter, leaving jet boat and message, praying you will find me, signed Mitch Parker, Captain, Rocket Scout 4J9.
What a choice he had. To die in space or land on Jupiter, the worst planet in the whole solar system.
And this message is dated 4 days ago, Tom.
4 days? He can never survive on Jupiter that long.
Nor if he even reached it. Well, come on. Let's get back to the Polaris. We've got some heavy blasting to do.
Hey, Roger. Roger.
Yeah, what do you want, Astro?
Any word from the skipper and Tom? They've been on that jet boat for 15 minutes now.
I'll say there's word. The skipper just called me. They're on the way back, and he's ordered me to rack up a new heading. Straight for Jupiter.
Jupiter? Oh, no. After all the times they've told us to avoid that planet like a plague?
Manning, have you got that heading?
Oh, yes, Captain Strong, but,
But what, Manning?
Well, you're not serious, are you, sir?
We're really going to land on Jupiter?
Now, look, Captain Parker had to sit down on Jupiter. I'm sure he would have preferred a nice, warm, civilized place like Earth or Venus or Mars, but he had no choice. And if by some remote miracle he's been able to survive the storms, cold, and the miserable freezing nights, we're going to find him. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure is, sir. Then man your stations. We blast in 1 minute.
Control that guy.
Tom, I'm getting a signal from the surface of Jupiter.
What?
I can hardly make it out through all the static, but I'm sure it's a radio signal. Manning, this is Captain Strong. Feed it down here, quick. Here it is, sir.
Can you make anything out of it, sir?
Oh, it's a lot of hash, but it's a radio signal, all right. I think someone down there is trying to get through, sir. But I can't make it out. It's so garbled. Well, we'll cut closer to the surface. Maybe the signal will come in stronger, and we can find out where it's coming from. Hello, power deck. Give me full space speed. We're going in. This is the strongest the signal has been. Parker must be on Jupiter somewhere. Tom, tell Astro and Manning to stand by their intercoms. I want to talk to all of them.
Aye, sir. Attention, crew. Stand by. Skipper wants to talk to us.
Astro standing by. What's up, Junior?
Stop wasting time, Rod. You'll find out soon enough.
Money, making noises like a real headshot here. All right, fellas, pay attention. Now, this is a decision for all of us to make. There is reason to believe that Captain Parker is alive on Jupiter. The strength of the signal indicates he's somewhere in the area directly below us. Well, what are we waiting for, sir? Let's get him. Now, let me tell you a few things about Jupiter first, Manning. Even though it's a giant planet, it whirls on its axis like a top. Now, this action creates storms that make our hurricanes on Earth seem like spring breezes. After listening to Manning, sir, big winds never bother us anymore. Very funny. Now, pay attention. This is nothing to joke about. The days are only 6 hours long, and it's plenty cold. But when night falls, it becomes so cold that no living thing can exist on its surface for more than 20 minutes. Nice friendly planet. No, I'm not through yet. Gravity on Jupiter is 2.5 times that of Earth. So every step you'll take, you'll feel as if you're dragging a ton of plutonium. And finally, the atmosphere is full of noxious gases, methane and ammonia. Now, what do you say?
Only one thing I can think of, sir. When do we land?
Do you all feel that way? I always wanted to pick up some weight. I'll gain 300 pounds in no time. How about you, Manning? You need help in keeping these jokers out of trouble, sir. Count me in. Thanks, boys. Then stand by for landing.
Ready or not, Jupiter, here we come. Well, we're down, sir.
Oh, that was a rough one. You mean we made it? We're still in one piece?
Yeah, Roger. Spaceman's luck was riding with us.
I don't know how you did it, Captain Strong. I've been holding my breath for the last 30 seconds. I told you guys I'd bring you down okay.
Uh-huh. Thanks, Manning.
All right, now let's get to work. Tom, see if you can raise Parker's ship.
Aye, sir. Rocket Cruiser Polaris to Rocket Scout 4J9. Rocket Cruiser Polaris to Rocket Scout 4J9. Come in. Come in, Captain Parker. Nothing at all, sir. Just a lot of electronic interference.
I was afraid of that. Corbett and Manning, break out your thermal suits and storm gear. We'll have a look around outside. I'll meet you at the airlock.
Aye, sir.
And don't forget your respirators. You won't last 30 seconds in that methane and ammonia atmosphere.
Captain Strong, what about me?
Somebody has to stay aboard the ship, Astro, and you're it.
How do you rate all these soft jobs, Astro? Doping off in here while we freeze out there on this overgrown iceberg.
Turn off the space gas. If he told you to stay in here, you'd have griped your head off.
Blow your jets. The skipper's taking me along because he wants to be sure of finding Captain Parker, that's all.
Manning, your hot air should raise the temperature of Jupiter enough to make it a tropical paradise. Go on now. Blast off.
Captain, I'm beat. Can't we rest a while? My legs feel like dead weights. I can hardly drag them.
Yeah. I'm in the same orbit, sir. All right. We'll stop for a minute. I'm tired myself. That's no wonder. We each weigh about 450 pounds.
450 pounds? I ought to start reducing.
The only thing you ought to reduce is the size of your head.
One more crack like that and I'll reduce the number of your teeth.
Well, you fellas at it again? I guess we're a little tired, sir. Sorry. Well, just rest here while I look around.
What does he think he's going to see through that electronic viewer? All we're looking for is a bunch of static. This entire mission's been a wild goose chase from the start.
Hold it, Roger. The skipper's waving at us and pointing at something. Give me that viewer.
Here.
Yeah. I see it. It's a spaceship. Of all the blind luck, we found it.
I don't believe it. Let me look. Jumping Jupiter. What do you know? I brought the Polaris right to it.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. We have only 2 hours of daylight left. And that ship is over a mile away.
A mile? I can cover that in no seconds flat.
Yeah, on Earth you can, but not on Jupiter. Well, let's go. Here we are, boys. We made it. I don't see how.
Me either.
Now, give me a hand here. I've got to open the airlock. Come on, Raj. Crack away. Some of this ice. Yeah. A little more on this side, boys, and the airlock will be free. I've got it. All right. Now, let's hope it'll open. There it goes. Now, this side, quick. And don't fall, or we need a derrick to pick you up.
Step it up, will you, Junior? Let's get out of this cold.
Outer portal's cleared, sir. Now, close it. I'll equalize the pressure.
Pressure system sounds like it's in good shape, so the hull isn't spun.
Well, thank goodness for that. Pressure equalized. All right, boys. You can remove your masks now, and let's go.
These scouts aren't very big. We won't have far to look.
All right, this way. Pilot's compartment is up forward.
Look at all those sacks of mail. An awful lot of people aren't going to get letters.
No, we'd never be able to transfer all this stuff ourselves.
Give me your space light, quick.
Oh, here you are, sir.
Hey, look! On the floor of the flight compartment.
Why, it's Parker.
He's not moving. Great dynamite, is he?
Oh, he's still alive, Manning, but he's in a bad way. We've got to get him back to the Polaris.
No, we can't carry him, not under this gravity.
We've got to, somehow. On the ball, fellas.
Hey, can't we stop a minute? This is murder.
No, Manning. Keep moving. Every minute out here lessens Parker's chances. It's getting dark. Awfully fast, Captain Strong. But that's another reason to move. No one can survive out here at night. Now get rolling.
Hey, what's that?
Captain Strong. Look! Up there on top of those mountains.
I must be seeing things. The mountains are blowing their tops.
There's the hydrogen in the methane atmosphere, uniting with the sodium in the mountainside. The ground! It's moving!
An earthquake! Get down flat! Quick!
No, don't! You'll never get up again! Come on, both of you! Get in a huddle! We'll lean on each other and brace ourselves! It's our only chance!
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Hold everything. Listen to the big news about the magic moving picture eye, brought to you by Kellogg's Pep.
Fellas and girls, just ask Mom to buy Kellogg's Pep, and then you'll get the swellest prize you ever saw, a magic moving picture eye.
Here's how the magic eye works. It's a gleaming plastic disc with a picture in the middle. When you hold the magic eye in your hand and tip it back and forth, the picture starts to move. Really move. Say, you'll have everybody guessing about your magic powers.
You'll see speeding trains, movie stars and sport champions like Bob Hope of Paramount Pictures and tennis star Bobby Riggs, and pictures of your TV favorites like Tom Corbett.
16 different pictures altogether. And best of all, listen to this. To get your magic eye, you don't have to send in. You don't have to mail any box tops. Your magic eye is waiting for you right now at your neighborhood grocer's. That's right. There's a magic moving picture eye packed in every box of Kellogg's Pep. Free, at no extra cost. Yes, at the same time that you get a better-than-ever tasting cereal that helps you to have good bones and strong muscle, you get a swell prize, too. Start your magic moving picture eye collection now.
That's right. Get your magic eye. Ask Mom to buy Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Finding Captain Parker in the wreckage of his rocket scout on the surface of Jupiter, Tom, Roger, and Captain Strong tried desperately to carry the unconscious man back to their rocket cruiser, the Polaris. But they have to fight the overwhelming gravity force on the planet. Gravity that adds almost 300 pounds to their weight, making each step a tremendous effort. Then suddenly, halfway back to the Polaris, the surrounding mountains seem to explode, and the ground heaves and shakes beneath their feet.
Hang on, boys. Try not to fall down.
This planet's gone crazy. How long will this last, Captain Strong?
There's no way of telling. Maybe seconds. Maybe hours.
Seconds? I can't take much more of this.
Well, you've got to, Manning.
Hey, look! The ground is opening up. We're dead dots. Run for it.
No, wait.
Jumping jets. That chasm opened up right behind us. 2 feet closer and we would have dropped through.
Listen, boys. Those explosions, they're dying down.
Guess the worst of it is over, sir.
Temporarily. They'll start again. So let's get moving while we still have the chance. The next earthquake may wreck the Polaris.
By the rings of Saturn, I never thought you fellas would make it.
What's the matter? Think we're a bunch of sissies?
Hey, what's the matter with you, Roger? You're talking like you had a mouthful of hot potatoes.
My face, it's just cold, that's all. I haven't thawed out yet.
Well, at last we found something to keep him quiet.
All right, boys. All right. Bend your stations. Those mountain tops are starting to flare again.
Gangway, I've had enough of that routine.
Rocket motors are warmed up and ready, sir.
Right. Make this fast, Astro.
You bet, sir.
Strap in, Tom.
Yes, sir. But what about Captain Parker?
Oh, he's pretty sick. I think he'll pull through. He's asleep now, down in my cabin. All right, now, stand by for blast-off.
Attention, crew. Stand by for blast-off.
Radar bridge Manning ready. All right, Astro ready. Energize the cooling pumps.
Pumps in operation, sir.
Feed reactant. Make it D13 to counteract the gravity. Reactant feeding at D13 rate, sir. Switch in takeoff gyros.
Gyros on, sir. Honestly, Skipper, I never thought we'd ever get off Jupiter alive.
Huh? I had some very strong doubts myself. 5 seconds to blast off. 4.
Goodbye, Jupiter.
3.
If I ever see you again, it'll be through a telescope.
0. Rocket away!
Action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when danger and death strike from the void in the mystery of the Space Station of Danger. Tune in, same time, same station,
for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Al Markham as Astro, Jan Merlin as Roger Manning, and Edward Bryce as Captain Strong. Today's program was written by Jack Weinstock and Willie Gilbert, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes, both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are running through the alleys of a Mediterranean village, the blackness of the Italian night confusing you, while somewhere in the dark behind you, coming closer as they search for you, are a man and a beautiful woman who mean to take your life.
Listen now as Escape brings you Kathleen Height's story, An Ordinary Man.
I don't know yet why I said it. But later, as I stood at the deck rail and felt the light chill of the Mediterranean night, I decided it was a good thing. I was 40 years old. In all my 40 years, people had never looked at me the way they had in the salon a few minutes earlier. 40 years. That's a long time to go unnoticed. A long time to be just an ordinary man. I had never known a beautiful woman, and Maria Novella was beautiful. A man doesn't tell such a woman that he's an assistant county assessor, or that this Mediterranean cruise took his life savings. It was late. I was alone on deck. And for the first time in my life, I felt that I could be anything I wanted to be. Boy, oh boy.
Hello. So this is where you came to hide, Senor Hanson.
Oh, Miss Novella. No, I just thought it was stuffy in the dining room. Came out on deck to take the air.
You are very gallant, Senor. I, too, found Senorita Preston's little game very trying.
Oh? Well, it wasn't the game so much. As a matter of fact, I get sort of a kick out of guessing who people are or what they do and then finding out whether I'm right or wrong.
People can be very deceptive. You must have discovered that. So often, they're not what they seem. Is that not so?
Oh, I don't know. I don't get fooled very often. If you're a good judge of character, and I fancy that I am.
Oh, I'm sure that you are.
Well, Thanks very much.
Not at all. It is a quality I admire. I am so often wrong about people. I was completely wrong about you.
Yes, I guess I had you fooled all right.
Your work must be fascinating.
Oh, it's a job.
But importing rare gems, it has the sound of many things. Romance, in its true sense, and history, and I should think danger.
Oh, I suppose, but as I say, it's a job. Even scouting around the world in search of perfect stones, well, it all becomes routine after a while.
I think you are modest, Senor Hensel. I think you know a very great deal that you do not say. And I think I will go right on regarding your life as romantic and dangerous.
Well, if it makes you happy.
It does. You see, senor, you prove my point.
Oh, how's that?
That people are so often not what they seem. Here you are, an importer of rare gems, and you have the appearance of just an ordinary man. It's getting chilly. I'm afraid I must go in now.
Oh, so soon? I mean, well, if you're chilly, I could lend you my coat.
It is also quite late.
Oh. Well, then, may I see you to your cabin?
How very nice. We seem to be very much alone.
Yes. Not a very lively group aboard, I'd say.
And I had thought not a very interesting group. Until tonight.
Oh. Yes, I guess you're right.
Here we are.
Here? Well, we're practically neighbors. I'm just a few doors down on the other side.
I know.
Oh? Oh, you do?
Do you mind that I noticed you?
Now, then, I'll bet you know I don't mind the least bit.
I hope not. Sometimes, Senor Hensel, a woman traveling alone, she's afraid. Just of being alone, she's afraid.
Why, now, there's nothing to be afraid of. A small cruise boat like this, not very many people.
Oh, I should not trouble you. I talk too much.
Oh, you just go right ahead. You're trembling, Miss Novella.
I'm a foolish woman. I would say good night now, Senor. And thank you for being so kind.
Are you sure you're all right? Now, if you'd like me to stay with you a while,
No, please, you must go. And forget what I have said.
I'm sorry, Signorina.
It's only Pietro, Miss Novella.
I see.
I do not mean to frighten the Signorina.
What were you doing in my cabin?
I bring the Signorina fresh linens. It's no crime, fresh linen.
So late at night, you bring me the linen?
Yes, it is late, Pietro.
Yeah. Pietro has much work in so many cabins. The Signorina was not in. I did not think that she would mind.
Go now, Pietro. This must not happen again.
As you wish. Pietro would never frighten the Signorina.
Are you afraid of him, really?
I do not know. I'm afraid of many things.
Because if you're afraid of Pietro, it's a simple matter to tell the captain.
I would not want that.
Look, if it'd make you feel better, I'd be glad to come into your cabin with you. Just to look around. Be sure that everything is all right.
No. Oh, thank you, but no. I've talked too much. You will please go now, too.
I'd like to help you, Miss Novella.
Not now. We will meet tomorrow. Perhaps then you can help me.
My mind was full of Maria Novella, and I didn't sleep very well that night. A beautiful woman was afraid, and she had brought her fears to me. Or rather, she brought them to the man she thought I was. A man whose business was danger and romance, a dealer in rare gems. I knew that night that I would never tell her the truth, that I must somehow come to be this man she thought I was.
Your move, Hensel.
Huh? Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry, Mr. Brilliant. My mind hasn't been on my checkers all afternoon.
You would think we were playing chess for great stakes, the way you study your moves.
I'm not even thinking about them, Mr. Brilliant. I'll concede the game to you.
And I will accept, if only because it will be the first game I have won from you in 3 days.
You sure you don't mind?
Oh, not at all, my friend. Tell me, have you business in Trapani?
Hmm?
I asked if you have business in Trapani. We dock in Sicily tonight, you know.
No, this is just a pleasure trip.
Oh, that is good. Then you will be able to spend some time with me.
Yes, I'd like that. I didn't realize that Trapani was your home.
It isn't, but I have many friends there. A particular friend occupies one of the fine old Baroque palaces. He has an exceptional collection of jewels.
Oh, so?
The man with your knowledge of gems... But you are not listening, are you, Hensel?
Hmm? Oh, well, to tell you the truth, I was looking for someone.
Really?
I guess it's obvious, but I haven't seen her all day.
Do I know her?
Oh, Miss Novella?
I don't place the name, should I?
Oh, yes. Last night in the salon, remember when Miss Thurston organized her Guess Who game? Miss Novella was the beautiful dark woman in green.
Oh, yes, I do remember her now. Very lovely. But I don't believe I've seen her today either.
I'm sort of concerned about her. Rapped at her cabin a time or two. She didn't answer. I think I'll check again.
I believe I would if you are worried about her.
Yes, I think I'd better. Excuse me? Oh, and thanks for the game, Mr. Brilliant.
I'll see you when we dock, Hensel.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Hensel. Didn't see you. Are you hurt?
No, Miss Thurston,
I blew my whistle, but I guess you didn't hear it in time.
I guess not.
Doing wind sprints around the deck, getting my land legs in shape.
Oh?
Start my gym classes every day with wind sprints.
Well, don't let me keep you.
And remember, we're all playing invitations tonight in the salon before we dock.
Oh. Hello,
Signor Hansen.
You were putting fresh linens in my cabin, Pietro?
Fresh water, Signor.
They keep you pretty busy with linens and water, don't they?
Pietro has much work. So many cabins.
I hope I find everything in its place, Pietro.
I hope so too, Signor.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Hensel. I was wondering if... Oh, hello there.
Please come in, Senor Hensel.
Well, if you're sure you don't mind... frankly, I've been worried about you, Miss Novella.
I did not sleep well last night. Toward morning, I took a sedative. I wakened only a short time ago. I was going to send for you.
Is something wrong?
I told you I might need your help. This is why I'm frightened, Senor.
Oh, my. What a beautiful brooch.
The last of my family's treasures, Senor. How old it is, I do not know. My grandmother left it to me. I've just come from her funeral in Lisbon.
You say this is why you're frightened?
I am a woman alone. Someone may know I have a brooch of great value.
Pietro?
Perhaps Pietro, I do not know.
Miss Novella, why don't you go to the captain? I'm sure he could offer protection until you're ashore.
No, I will not call attention to myself by going to the captain. If you will not help me.
No, but how can I be of help to you?
Well, you are used to these things, Senor. You often carry gems, do you not?
Oh, no. Oh, well, of course, yes, but I don't see...
No, I can trust you. Take it, please.
Take it?
Keep it for me. Only until we dock at Trapani. I will feel so much better, so much safer, Senor.
Yes, but if something should happen...
Please, it will be safe with you. I do not mean to impose, but who else can I turn to? If I cannot trust you.
You can trust me, Miss Novella. I'll keep it for you.
Hensel. Ready to go ashore?
Oh, Mr. Brilliant, I was looking for someone.
You are still looking for the same lady?
Huh? Oh, no, not still. Again, I really must find her.
I had hoped we could go ashore together.
That would be fine, but I promised Miss Novella that...
Excuse me, Senor Hensel.
Oh, yes, Pietro.
The Signorina left this for you.
Left it? When?
A few minutes ago. She has gone ashore, senor.
Gone? But surely she must say where...
It is a small hotel, senor. The Monte San Giuliano.
How did you know that...
Arrivederci, senor.
You are listening to An Ordinary Man, tonight's presentation on Escape.
A suspect in a holdup and a known narcotics user cross the path of your night watch during tomorrow night's tour of duty on CBS Radio. Tomorrow and every Friday night on most of these same stations, you're on the case with Night Watch, a police recorder and actual police in a prowl car, protecting the public from wrongdoings and wrongdoers. Remember, Night Watch, exciting, authentic. Stars address listening tomorrow night.
And now, Escape, in the second act of An Ordinary Man.
Hotel Monte San Giuliano. Please hurry. The urgency of Maria Novella's note saw me through those next minutes. In my confusion, I lost track of Mr. Brilliant. Somehow I managed to get through customs. What I would have said if they had found the brooch, I do not know. I only knew that I must find Maria Novella and return it to her. She was not registered when I arrived. I took a room and waited. And then... Just a minute.
I was afraid I had lost you, Hensel.
Oh, come in, Mr. Brilliant.
You never lose that look, Hensel. Always when we are together, you are looking for someone else.
It sure seems that way, doesn't it?
You have not found the lady yet, Signorina Novella?
No, I haven't.
Good. Then I will take it, Hensel.
You will take what?
Please. We are old friends. We play checkers together. Please do not make me shoot an old friend. I want the brooch.
You know...
You can puzzle over it when I am gone, Hensel. These are ugly little episodes. We should not prolong them.
I am not a brave man, Mr. Brilliant. But I'll tell you one thing.
Good. Then you will not have to act like one. Now, where is it? In one of your suitcases?
No, I won't let you.
I did not want to do that.
Oh, please.
But you are such a foolish man. And you waste my time. You force me to find it myself.
No, but you can't. I promise. I promise.
But I came as soon as I could, and I trusted you.
I know. How he knew I had the brooch, I don't know. I'm ashamed, so completely ashamed. Oh, Pietro. He must have known.
Perhaps he did, but I am to blame. I should never have given it to you. It was my responsibility.
I should never have taken it. But if I hadn't, Mr. Brilliant would have found you, and... Well, at least I saved you that.
Oh, I'm not blaming you. Please understand that. I'm just so very upset.
Well, this is no good. We'll have to go to the police.
Oh, I had not thought of the police. No, I do not want the police.
But I've already called them. Called as soon as he left. And I must say they were very calm about it. Said I'd have to come there and make a report.
No, I cannot go through that. I've been too long under this strain.
Oh. Well, I guess I can handle it myself. If you trust me again.
Oh, I trust you. It is only that I'm so weary of this. If the police would come here, but...
I'll bring them. Now, don't you worry. You just stretch out here. No one will bother you now.
There would be no reason. No.
I'll hurry. And don't worry, Miss Novella. I just won't rest until I get that brooch back for you. The Trapani police continued to take the whole matter with great calm. I had the feeling that they thought I'd manufactured the entire story. And it was well after midnight before I finally persuaded one of them to go back to the hotel with me.
I imagine the Signorina will be asleep.
Yes, I should think so. I think the whole town of Trapani is asleep, including its police force.
We like to be sure, Signore. Sometimes it takes time to be sure.
And all that time, Mr. Brilliant was speeding away somewhere, scot-free.
It's easy to leave at Trapani. If your Mr. Brilliant was anxious to leave, he could have been gone in minutes.
Is that any reason not to try to stop him? Now, here we are. Quietly now. Miss Novella? Miss Novella?
The room is empty, Signore.
Well, I don't understand that. She must be here.
Is she in the closet, Signore?
No. But then she must have left a note.
I do not see a note. Do you?
No.
The Signorina, she had a room here at the hotel?
Yes, I'm sure she did. That must be where she's gone.
We will see. Connect me, please, with the room of... her name?
Novella. Maria Novella.
The Signorina Maria Novella. I will wait.
Are they ringing her room?
They are checking her number.
Oh, that must be where she is. They probably got tired of waiting for us. Just went to her own room. Well, you can't blame her. All that delay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are sure?
Wasn't she there?
The hotel says they have no guest by the name of Maria Novella.
No guest?
The cigarette?
No. No.
Senor Henson.
Yeah, I know. I know you don't believe there is any Maria Novella, just like you don't believe anything else I've told you.
Very fantastic story, Signore. You meet the lovely lady on a boat. For no reason, you tell her you are an importer of rare jewels. The lady is frightened. She trusts you. Gives you a fine old brooch. Then you land at Trapani. The man you play checkers with steals the brooch. Now all three are gone. The lady, the man, the brooch.
I didn't make it up. I couldn't make it up. It happened, I tell you. She may be in danger. She may have been kidnapped.
I'm sorry. We cannot deal with what may have been. You need a rest, Signor. And then tomorrow, you can enjoy Trapani. It's really a very nice place.
He was right. I needed a rest. But where was Maria Novella? Oh, I should never have gone to the police alone. My mind was full of things I should never have done. If only I had just been content to be an ordinary man. Oh. Hello?
Senor Henson.
Oh, are you all right?
I'm safe. With friends.
Oh, thank heaven. When we came back and you were gone...
Oh, I should have left a note, but I was so upset. You understand.
Oh, I do, but the police don't. I can't understand it, but they don't believe anything I told them.
My friends have talked to me. They think we must go to the police together. You and I.
I think that's the only way.
Well, I cannot rest now until we do. Please, this last favor. Please come here for me.
I was able to find what must have been the only taxi in Trapani at that hour. I gave him the directions Maria Novella gave me, and we wound through a series of narrow streets to what seemed to be the edge of the city. A soft rain began to fall. I told myself it would all be over soon.
Come in, Senor Henson.
Well, I'm afraid I'm pretty wet.
You are just fine.
Oh, my. I should have asked that taxi to wait. It's a shame to bother your friends at this time of night.
They will not mind. And you have been so kind.
Unbelievably kind, Henson.
What? Brilliant.
But like most kind people, you are inclined to meddle.
Miss Novella?
Do what you have to do, Renzo, and be quick about it.
But we owe Hensel an explanation. Look at his confusion.
You, the two of you, together?
Worse than that, Hensel. Married.
I said, be quick about it, Renzo.
A very impatient girl, Maria, but so beautiful, Hensel. And so helpless. She needs a strong man like you to protect her.
You planned it? Deliberately? But why?
We needed someone to take the brooch off the boat, you see. Such a simple reason. And you made it so complex for us all. You and Pietro.
Pietro?
Such an ardent young Latin, Pietro. If he had not detained Maria, she would have met you at the hotel. You would have delivered the brooch to her gladly. As it was, I had to trouble you for it. Now the police are involved. It's very messy, Hansel.
The brooch isn't hers. There's no dead grandmother in Lisbon. You stole the brooch.
Ah, you are thinking, Hansel, but a little late.
And she gave it to me because I was supposed to be a gem expert. And if the authorities found it on me, there would be no trouble. Is that right?
Yeah, that is very wrong. A gem expert? Who would believe that of such an ordinary man?
No one, I guess.
We picked you for yourself alone. You are a nice, ordinary man, though. I hate to tell you.
Tell me what?
Out in the garden, a very old cistern. The Romans built it. I don't think anyone will ever find you.
You are going to kill me?
No, such a thought. We are only going to let you die. Not much further, Hansel. You must be very tired.
I guess I am.
The rest will do you good.
Hansel!
What?
Look out! Hurry! That's far enough, you. Are you all right, Senor Hansel?
Oh. I'm much better, thanks.
You brought the police, Hansel?
You? Oh, no, I didn't have anything to do with them. Well, did I, officer?
Oh, I think so, yes. I got to thinking about your story. It's a very fantastic story. It's so unbelievable. But then I think about you. Such an ordinary man. You could not make up such a story. So, I follow you.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you transcribed An Ordinary Man by Kathleen Hite, starring John Daner with Virginia Gregg. Featured in the cast were Edgar Barrier, Anthony Barrett, Ida Reese-Marin, and Harry Bartell. Your announcer, Dan Coverly. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are lost in the trackless wild of the Irish moors. Your only companion, a beautiful gypsy woman. And you know that somewhere in the dark behind you, searching every foot of ground for you, is the giant of a man called Charon, who plans to take your girl and at the same time take your life.
So listen next week when Escape brings you John Daner's story, Benchalina and the Fisherman.
Is there a possible connection between a strange ivory monkey and the death of a wealthy oil magnate? Mr. Keene believes so and sets out to prove his contention in the case of Murder and the Ivory Monkey tomorrow night on CBS Radio. Don't miss Mr. Keene at his exciting best tomorrow night on most of these same stations. Where there's Gunsmoke, there's Western Adventures, Saturday nights on the CBS Radio Network.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Roastin' presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are on Venus on a farm where food is chemically grown in large tanks. As they walk toward a building where Tonga is held captive, huge sun mirrors atop several tall towers turn ominously toward them.
Oh, but rockets, Commander, it's really getting hot all of a sudden.
Yes, waves of heat. Even for Venus, this is unusual.
Gee, my eyes, what a glare.
Don't look at those reflectors, they'll blind you.
Let's run for the building and get out of the sun.
Happy, look out, they're focusing those sun mirrors on us.
A whole battery of them are pointed right toward us.
Maybe we can dodge them. Run back this way.
Commander, they've got us surrounded by the heat beams, and they're closing in.
If they hit us with all of them at once, we're finished.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Space Shark. It's the cereal of the future, the real space cereal. The cereal that's different from any other cereal in the universe. The cereal you see on Commander Corey's own breakfast table. Delicious Rice Chex. The cereal with a flavor like no other flavor in all the universe. Delicious Rice Chex. Swell-tasting shredded rice, spun in that modern bite-sized design for easy eating. A real space cereal. You see, there's space inside those biscuits so they can fill up with milk or cream. Try it today, gang. The only bite-sized rice cereal in the universe. Rice Chex, the one and only official checkerboard rice cereal. Rice Chex, one of the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Rice Chex at your grocer's in the red and white checkerboard package. Get it today. Crisp and delicious. New and different. Golden bite-size Rice Chex. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have just blasted off from the planet Saturn, where they've been investigating mysterious contamination of chemically grown food shipped from Venus. In the meantime, Tonga, the assistant security chief, is also doing some undercover investigation work on Venus, working as a chemist on one of the farms. Now, through the nose port of Terra 5, Buzz and Happy watch Saturn's shining rings looming up large before them.
Raise our vector about 5 degrees, Happy. Want to clear the rings with plenty of space to spare.
Yes, sir. You know, it's too bad anything so beautiful is such a menace to spaceflight.
But by the time you're close enough for them to be a menace, the rings are no longer beautiful.
No, because you can see the individual hunks of rock making up the rings. And yet from a distance, they look as though you could ride a circus car around them like on a smooth racetrack.
Only in this case, it's the racetrack that does the moving. Well, it's 1100 hours Universal Star Time, Happy. We ought to be hearing from Tonga pretty soon.
I hope she found out more about how that food is getting contaminated than we did.
Those samples we examined on Saturn turned bad after they arrived from Venus.
So maybe the chemical farm they came from is still pure, huh?
Not necessarily. Perhaps a chemical with a delayed action was put into the hydroponic tanks.
Tonga calling Commander Corey. Tonga calling Commander Corey.
Corey here. Go ahead, Tonga.
Commander, how soon can you come to Venus?
We just blasted off from Saturn. It'll take at least 3.5 hours. Something wrong?
Why, no, to the contrary. I found out how those harmful chemicals are getting into the hydroponic tanks.
Good.
A group of racketeers are trying to force the farm operators to pay for protection. They've bribed workers to put the contaminating chemicals into the tanks.
Then, for the owners who pay the price, the tanks stay pure. Who's behind this gang?
I don't know yet, Commander, but I think I will by the time you reach Venus.
Where are you now?
In the women's dormitory at the farm. I'm just about ready to report for work at the lab.
If you leave your miniature spaceophone in your room, be sure you hide it carefully.
I keep it with me, Commander. It's safer.
You want us to come directly to the farm when we reach Venus?
I'll let you know later, Commander. By the way, I'm working here as Miss Bird.
All right, Tonga. Be careful. Corey out.
Gee, Commander, Tonga seems to have found out more in a week than all the other agents have in a month.
She's a good security department operator, Happy. No, we'll clear the rings. Change the vector for Venus.
Yes.
Ready for the spectroscope check on specimen 28, Mr. Baxter?
All right, Miss Burns.
Negative. Well, this whole group of samples tests pure. I hope we have as good luck on the next group.
Oh, never mind that now, Miss Burns. I'll handle it.
Oh, but I thought you wanted all these samples analyzed before the morning shift ends.
There isn't much more to do. I'd like to have you take this report over to the superintendent's office.
Why, yes, Mr. Baxter.
Come in, Eggle.
Where is she? I sent her on an errand. That Space Patrol spy. I wonder how much she knows.
Not very much. I've kept close watch on her ever since we found that she's a Space Patrol agent.
But that was 3 days ago. She's been here a week. I'd like to know where she kept that spacer phone.
I've had a room searched at the women's dormitory. She's got it hidden, all right.
Perhaps it's under the floor. Baxter, you should have put that concealed microphone in her room in the first day she was here.
Look, I can't handle everything.
We got to get rid of her without exciting suspicion.
How can we do that? The Space Patrol will investigate.
Supposing there was an accident. Supposing she mixed the wrong chemicals and there was an explosion.
Oh, she's too careful. Too smart. I've got it. This will do fine.
What is that?
A harmless chemical used by Miss Burns almost constantly. But this bottle... Someone might easily confuse the names of the two chemicals. They're very much alike.
What does this chemical do?
A few drops mixed with any acid solution will produce a deadly gas. A gas that soon dissipates. After a few seconds, when it's mixed with air, it's harmless. But if someone were leaning over a container of it when it first formed...
Baxter, I can't pronounce the name of the substance, but it's the solution to our problem. Fix it up. I better get out of here before she gets back.
The superintendent said he'd check the report later, Mr. Baxter.
Typical. He hollers his head off or something, then lets it sit on his desk for 3 days. Miss Burns, would you take over here?
Of course.
I've got to rush over to tank number 5. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Right, Mr. Baxter. Now, let's see. Anestheric acid, 20 cc's. Oh, now where's it? Oh, here it is. Oh.
Worked, Eagle. Is the gas dissipated? Do you think I'd be walking around like this if it hadn't? As I told you, it only takes a few seconds for the...
Baxter, she's alive. Huh? Look at her. She's moving, tugging at her throat.
She must have jerked her head back before it got into her lungs. Now what do we do?
This makes it awkward. Let me think a minute.
Well, at this acceleration, we'll reach Venus in half an hour, sir.
Want me to take over?
No, thanks, sir. I'd just as soon bring her in, if I may.
Well, fine with me. Happy.
Listen, I heard something on the miniature spacer phone.
So did I.
I got her back, sir. We'll load our Miss Burns into a surface car and take her to my hyperdromic farm. So somebody sees us. Tell them there was a slight accident. We can say I'm a doctor. Take her to a hospital.
But, Commander, they've done something to Tonga.
Quiet, Happy.
Take her to your farm. When she comes to, we can make her tell how much she knows. We certainly can't work on her here. That's right. I'll stay here and watch Miss Burns. We got to get a surface car. Go on, get moving.
Tonga managed to click on her spacer phone, so she's probably not too badly hurt.
I wish they'd keep talking so we could find out who they are and where they're going to take her.
Baxter and Eagle. Eagle has a chemical food farm. Happy you keep listening to your miniature set. I'll contact Venus Space Control and have them check on the location of a hydroponic farm owned by a man named Eagle.
Passenger seems to be very quiet back there.
Well, apparently that gas just missed being totally effective. Here, pull up in front of this building.
What's this place?
A couple of storage rooms and a solar mirror control.
Quite a layout you have.
Yeah, very successful farm, Baxter. And you know, I haven't had a bit of trouble with contaminated food.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
Oh, come to think of it, maybe I'd better have some trouble.
in case the Space Patrol starts wondering why. Well, come on. Let's get her out of the car.
Still unconscious. We'll have to carry her.
Yeah, all right. Let's go.
Spaceship. It's landing.
Quick, get her inside.
It's a Space Patrol ship. Why do you suppose it's coming here?
It's the commander's ship. I've seen it a dozen of times on Terra. He must know the whole deal.
How could he?
The girl tipped him off. Probably he's been waiting for days for some open move on our part.
What'll we do with her? Where's one of those storage rooms?
Oh, wait. There isn't time for that now. Bring her in here. We got to stop Corey.
Stop? How?
Set her down here.
Look, why don't we lock her up out of sight? Maybe we can bluff Corey out of it. He can't know anything.
Well, he's obviously been to the other farm and knows the girl was taken away in a surface car.
Nobody asked us any questions?
No, but several people saw it.
Why don't we get in the car again and get away from here?
And be followed by Corey's spaceship?
I'm not anxious to tangle with Corey.
We won't have to. Come here. I'll show you something that will take care of Corey. Commander, I'm not sure, but I thought I saw two men carrying Tonga into that building down there when we were landing the ship. That means she's still unconscious.
Yes, we've got to be careful, Happy.
It's lucky she managed to turn on her miniature spaceophone. And even when Eagle and Baxter weren't talking, you picked up the sound of the surface car motor and led us right here.
This farm is more than just a front. Looks like a well-run operation.
Well, then why does Milton Eagle get mixed up in a gang of racketeers?
Very likely he's one of the higher-ups, if not the kingpin. This protection racket is his way of controlling competition.
What are those big, shiny pieces of metal on top of the towers?
Those are solar mirrors, Happy. They can be focused on the food tanks to raise the temperature.
Some of them seem to be moving now.
They have to keep pace with the sun. Also, if the mirrors were kept focused on one tank too long, it would scorch the plants, probably boil the water.
Oh, I see.
I'm not so sure our arrival hasn't aroused interest, Happy, so be on your guard.
Get the idea now, Baxter? I'm surrounding Corey and the cadet with circles of concentrated sunlight.
What do you expect to do? Blind them with the glare?
Yeah. Wait till I converge all those beams in one spot. Right on Corey and his friend.
Eagle, wait. Do you realize the heat those mirrors put out?
Yeah, quite well, Baxter. And I think this will serve to stop the Space Patrol permanently. Now watch. I'm going to bring the focal points together. Gee, Commander, sure is getting hot all of a sudden.
Yes, waves of heat. Even for Venus, this is unusual.
Smoking rockets, my eyes. What a glare.
Don't look at those reflectors. They'll blind you.
Hey, let's run for the building and get out of the sun.
Happy, they're focusing those sun mirrors on us.
The whole battery of them.
Maybe we can dodge them. Run back this way.
Hey, Commander, we're surrounded by heat beams, and they're closing in.
If they hit us with all those at once, we're finished.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Right now, here's the story of a cosmic surface car in trouble. Listen. The trouble? Nothing to go on but ordinary fuel. You hear that? The driver's filling up the tank with super fuel. Now, something's going to happen now. Boy, that cosmic surface car is really roaring now. That's because it's supercharged with super fuel. And the same is true with you, gang. What happens when you don't have a good breakfast? You're just a putt-putt. But when you fill up your tank with super fuel, man, you're supercharged. Now, here's how Buzz Corey does it. He eats a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal, Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. Wait till you taste them, gang. Boy, are they good. Flavor galore in every crisp, bite-sized biscuit. So get going, gang. Eat a good super cereal breakfast and get supercharged. Get the super cereals today. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Buzz and Happy are on the grounds of a chemically grown food plant on Venus in an attempt to rescue Tonga, abducted by two men who've been putting poisonous chemicals in the food tanks of competing operators. The two conspirators, Milton Eagle and Richard Baxter, have seen Buzz and Happy approach the building where they're holding Tonga. Eagle has focused several sun mirrors toward the two space patrolmen, surrounding them with heat beams. Inch by inch, the circles close in around Buzz and Happy as Eagle tightens the wall of searing heat.
Look at them, Baxter. Ha! They can't move in any direction.
Grass all around them is burnt.
Yeah. And a few seconds ago, it was fresh and green.
It must be stifling inside those beams. Look at them. Even from here, you can tell they're gasping for air.
Well, we might as well finish them off.
Oh, no, you don't.
Grab her, Baxter.
Let go of me.
Get your hands off of that panel. Pull her away, Baxter.
I'm trying to.
Let go of me.
Why'd you come away?
Let go of me.
I've got her, Eagle. Now I'll finish off Corey and... she cut off the beam.
Get them on, quickly.
There isn't time. Corey and the cadet are headed toward us. Drag the girl out to the surface car. Quick.
Quit struggling, do you hear?
Take your hands off me.
We haven't got time to pamper you, Miss Burns. There. Now you can carry her. And hurry up into the car.
They're getting into the surface car. They've got Tonga. Hurry up. Stop! Hey, come back here! It's no use, Hap. Doggone it. A few more steps and we'd have made it.
Back to the ship. We'll blast off and trace them. They won't be able to get far. It was close. Plenty close.
We aren't away yet. They look for us with their ship. Maybe put up a roadblock.
Confounded girl. Why don't we get rid of her for good? Throw her out of the car.
No, you fool. As long as she's with us, Corey won't get robbed.
Where are you taking me?
That's a good question. Where are we taking her?
We're going to blast off for Neptune.
Blasting up for Neptune? In this surface car?
You must really have knocked her silly, Eagle.
I got a spaceship in a private spaceport a couple of miles from here. With a little luck, we can blast off before Corey spots us.
With a little luck,
I think
we
I
can
got him, sir, on the miniature set.
That's them all right.
You just leave the driving to me. Watch the girl.
Where on Neptune are you taking me?
To a place where the Space Patrol will never find you.
I suppose you've got a hideout in the mountains somewhere.
No, not quite. There's a small settlement along the Krolog River, just about 60 views east of Neptune City, where we won't be found.
Wouldn't a big city be better? People wouldn't ask so many questions.
I know what I'm doing.
Well, we know where they're going to take her.
Hope we can rescue Tonga before they get her aboard the spaceship.
Hey, Commander, there's a surface car down there on the highway. Do you suppose that's the one?
Very likely. Let's cut down our speed.
The spaceport isn't much further, Baxter.
What kind of spaceship do you have?
Man, such an inquisitive woman. But I'll tell you, I'm rather proud of it. It's a Class B space cruiser, one of the largest private ships made.
A Class B space cruiser. How nice. It must be Venus Registry, then.
Yes, Venus Registry. Anything else you want to know?
Hagel, we're being followed.
By a surface car. None showing on a highway radar.
No, a spaceship. It's pretty high up, but it's hovering.
There's some binoculars in the compartment. See if you can make out what ship it is.
All right.
I don't like the looks of it. Why would a spaceship be traveling so slowly over this part of Venus?
It's changing direction now. You can get these glasses, folks. It's a Space Patrol ship, Terra 5.
Corey again.
Maybe he didn't see us after all.
There were other surface cars on the highway near my farm. Wonder how he happened to follow this one.
Strange. Miss Burns, why do you keep playing with that locket?
I didn't know I was.
Give me that.
How dare you?
Oh, rather large for a locket, isn't it? Snap it open. Now, isn't this interesting?
What is it, Baxter?
Miniature spaceophone. So that's how Corey's been able to find us. We really ought to fix this girl now.
Shut up, you fool. Turn the spaceophone off.
Just a minute, Eagle. I know where you are and what you're up to. If either you or Baxter harm Tonga, both of you will regret it the rest of your lives.
So your real name is Tonga, the assistant security chief.
That's right.
Corey, I got a proposition to make to you.
What is it?
If we turn Tonga loose, will you let us alone?
You know I couldn't make a bargain like that.
Well, I'm willing to take a gamble, Corey. I know you'll keep after us, but I'll trade Tonga for a few minutes' time. There's a small check a few hundred yards down the highway. I'll leave Tonga there. How about it, Corey? It's your best chance to get her back safely.
All right, Eagle. I'll get you anyway, but I warn you, don't try to double-cross me.
Hey, cut the spaceophone off, Baxter.
It's off.
Here's the shack. We got to work fast. Corey's landing right where I figured he would. Stay behind the trees until he's out of the ship.
Why don't we get in the car and get to your ship? Why waste time?
While Corey is in the shack rescuing Tonga, we'll put his weapons out of commission.
Why not wreck the controls so he can't blast off?
Yeah, and have him alert other Space Patrol units? Our best bet is to have Corey after us himself.
tell me your ship is faster than Terra 5.
No, but his ship isn't faster than the Shark.
The Shark?
Yeah, it's a cosmic missile with a special view scope device. I have one aboard my ship. And once it's launched at Corey's ship, he can dodge it or outrun it.
Yes, and with his own cosmic weapons out of commission, he can't fire at the Shark.
That's right. He can run all over the solar system. But sooner or later, the Shark will get him. Come on, get ready. Corey and the Cadet are getting out of the ship.
Here's the shack, sir. I sure hope they kept their word and left Tonga here.
Eagle and Baxter are putting a lot of faith in a few minutes head start. But it won't do them much good. Try the door, Hap.
Thanks.
Commander, Happy.
Are you all right, Tonga?
Yes, Commander.
Oh, they've got her tied, hand and foot.
To give them more time, they probably would have locked the door if they could. Here, I'll cut those ropes, Tonga.
Thank you, Commander. I tried to find out exactly where Eagle's spaceship was. All I know is that it's not too far from here.
Happy and I looked for it from the air, but it must have been hidden.
The ship blasting off.
Probably Eagle's. Let's see. By the time we walk through the woods back to our ship, well, they'll have about 5 minutes start on us.
5 minutes? Well, that isn't going to do them much good.
They picked us up, Eagle. Good. Now let's give Corey a run for his money.
When are you going to launch the guided missiles at them?
Well, we'll wait till they get closer. First, we leave Corey out of the regular lane. I don't want him to call for help when we launch the Shark.
We aren't gaining very fast, sir.
They must realize they can't escape. Turn on the space phone, Happy. I'll order them to surrender. Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 to Milton Eagle aboard private cruiser 398. Come in.
Eagle to Commander Corey. Is something wrong, Commander?
Eagle, the smartest thing you can do is surrender. Head for Saturn. It's the closest planet.
Sorry. We have other plans.
I order you to surrender. We're armed, you know.
Oh, of course.
Happy, stand by to fire a warning rocket.
Yes, sir.
Eagle, I don't want to use force unless it's necessary, but I'm prepared to do it.
Commander, something's wrong with the firing mechanism.
What?
The electronic controls are out of order.
What about number 2?
Well, they're all out of order, sir.
That's right, Commander. Baxter and I took care of that while you were rescuing Tonga.
We can still overtake you, Eagle. Meanwhile, we can call units from Saturn.
You're going to be pretty busy, Commander. Baxter and I are sending you a present. Catch.
Eagle, if you fire on a space patrol ship, you'll be blasted out of space.
Commander, look at the viewscope. Something's leaving their ship.
It's not a regular missile, sir. It's too slow.
It may seem slow now, Cadet, but wait.
Eagle, what did you just release?
A weapon with your picture on it, Commander.
It's gaining velocity, sir.
It's a guided type missile with a cosmic warhead. Have fun. Eagle out.
Happy. Change vector for Saturn.
For Saturn, sir?
Yes, and put on all the acceleration we can stand.
Getting closer, Commander.
Head for Saturn's rings, Happy.
For the rings?
Yes, get on a tangent with the outer ring.
All right, sir, but... Well,
Commander.
Yes, sir.
The rings are made up of big chunks of rock. If we get too close...
That's the idea, Tonga. We'll get as close as possible. We're going to let those rocks run interference for us.
What an idea. Just like football at technology school. Blocking back, trailing you.
Tonga, bring the forward view scope up to full sensitivity. We'll pick out a nice big rock.
Yes, Commander.
Missile's awfully close, sir. At this rate, it'll hit us in a few seconds.
There's a giant hunk of rock dead ahead.
Good. I'll take the controls now, Happy. I'm going to see how close I can come to that rock. Tonga, watch the rear view scope.
The missile's awfully close.
Fine. We're going to jaywalk right in front of that rock.
Wow. Oh, boy, was that close. Smoking rockets, have you ever seen such fire?
Watch the rear view scope.
The rock. It blew up right behind us.
The guided missile hit it. Oh, that was luck.
Luck, nothing. That was the trickiest spaceship piloting in the universe, Commander. You hit a guided missile with an unguided missile.
Now, let's take care of some unfinished business. Eagle and Baxter.
How are we going to find them now?
I don't think it'll be difficult. They figure we're out of the way, so they might go back to their original plan.
The Crawl Up River place?
We'll try it. Take over, Happy. We're clear of the ring.
Well, I lined up another ship for us, Baxter.
Good. When do we leave Krolok?
In a few hours. One of my men is bringing a ship in from Neptune City.
It can't be too soon to suit me. I don't like this place.
What are you so jittery about? We don't have to worry about Corey anymore.
I know. I just don't like Neptune. I'm used to Venus. You get plenty of sunshine.
Get your hands up, Eagle.
You too, Baxter. Get the weapons, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Corey, how did you... The guided missile, you couldn't have escaped the shark.
The shark, if that's what you call it, stubbed its nose on a rock just off Saturn. As a pet, it wasn't too trustworthy.
You were so sure you'd finished, Corey. I told you not to come here. Nah, Baxter. No recrimination. We gambled and we lost. Take it easy, Baxter. Like me.
No, you don't, Eagle. Now, Eagle. Are you ready to come along?
Yeah, sure. Okay, Corey. I'll come along.
Yeah, you're not very agile, Eagle. You'd better stick to taking it easy, like Baxter.
An exciting preview of next week's thrilling Space Patrol story in just a moment. Hey, watch out. Hold everything. Here he comes down the rink so fast his ice skates are melting the ice. Wow, that's a checkerboard kid. He's supercharged. And a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal did it. A breakfast with swell-tasting instant roastin'. Here he comes again. Stand back. Jumpin' Jupiter, that boy's a winner. He's got the speed of Buzz Corey himself. And how about you, gang? How about getting supercharged so you can whiz along just like that? Just do this. Have a good breakfast with Instant Roastin', the hot super cereal. The delicious hot cereal that helps to turn on your starter. Makes you bright as a light and helps to keep you right on the beam. That's what it does for the Commander. That's what it'll do for you. Here comes the checkerboard kid again on those flying ice skates. Don't wait, gang. Be a winner yourself. Get supercharged. Eat a good breakfast with the delicious hot super cereal, Instant Roastin'. And now for a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy and their spacesuits on a tiny asteroid are approaching a criminal who has stolen evidence that's needed to convict a crime syndicate.
He's got the metal box, sir, with the evidence.
All right, Chora. Come out of that crater and get into our ship.
I'm getting into my own ship, Corey, and you're not going to stop me.
All right, we'll come down and get you.
Take one more step and I'll use this gun on you. All right, have it your way. I warned you.
Drop, Happy.
Wow, that was close. The gun chipped a hunk of rock loose as big as your head.
Stand still, Happy. I think Chora means business.
Yeah, he does. And it isn't funny business either.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Search for Asteroid X, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot roastin' again bring you Space Patrol! And now, an important message from Commander Buzz Corey.
Did you ever read in the paper about a boy or girl saving somebody's life? Ever wish you could do something like that? Well, you can. Just join my Space Patrol blood boosters. Here's what we do. We try to get more people to donate blood to the Red Cross. When you get somebody to donate blood, you save a life. So, boys and girls, join my Space Patrol blood boosters today.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, and Nina Berra. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot roastin' again present the new exciting Space Patrol. And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.